Up was the first time where I felt an extreme emotion in an animated movie. Like I wasn't an animated movie person before that.
No, really?
And then that movie broke me.
We turned you.
You turned me.
Oh, cool.
So the idea, did you have the kernel of the idea of the house flying away?
Yeah, I think, if I remember, it was a long time ago. I had the kind of concept of, and this really came out of Monsters Incorporated, the first film I directed. I know nobody told me, if they told you, as a director, you don't actually do anything. You walk around and talk to people all day.
Right.
And that's...
I describe it sometimes as a camp counselor.
Yeah, and that was overwhelming. Yeah. So I literally would, at the end of the day, hide under my desk. I have, to this day, a stack of books about people marooned on tropical islands. So that was what I was driven by, just like, I just want to get away from everything. Let's just float the house away. Yeah. And then from there came all the hard work after that.
Right. So the ending of Up was a dream come true for you in a fantastical way.
Yeah, because...
What if I just got away?
Because, of course, the answer is that would be awful. And what you need is community and connection with other people.
Right.
And that's what the movie's about.
That's what the movie's about, right. Okay, yeah, so my experience of it was, the first 10 minutes were... I think first 10 minutes is when that prologue happens.
Yeah.
It's very, very emotional, really like sucker punched me in this way that I did not see coming. And then here's what I'll say about it. Oddly, I think part of it is that it's people in the animation as opposed to animals,
robots,
fish, robots. And I think was that a choice? Because I feel like in animation, the conventional wisdom is like, we're going to do things that you can't do in live action film.
I have wondered, if you made a shot-by-shot remake of Up with real people, would you get away with it? I mean, for one, I think you'd be like, really? House flying, whatever. But more than that, I wonder if some of the stuff that was sort of appealing and likable for a grouchy old man to do in an animated film would actually be like, ugh, I hate him. In live action, I don't know.
Right.
That's the
Jack
magic
Nicholson
of casting.
in As Good as It Gets or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First of all, do you think you'll make a live action movie at some point?
Probably not. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm super nervous to be on this podcast because I'm worried that you're going to ask me a lightning round of questions.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to go down. It's going to not be. I'm going
to hit you hard.
What happens under pressure is that I get dumber and my wife gets smarter, and that's why it's just not fair. But that's why I'm in animation, because I can be under pressure and be like, let's think about this tomorrow.
No, totally. I mean, I met you close to 15 years ago when Sleepwalk with Me went to Sundance, and then our film was invited to screen at the Steve Jobs Cinema.
Oh, yeah, it's the theater.
Yeah, the theater on your campus. Mm-hmm. Which we couldn't believe. We were just like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is better than getting into Sundance. And then, but I sought you out because I was just like, I need to meet the person who made Up, and because it was so astonishing to me. And then we met and we became friends. And then over the years, you've given me an extraordinary amount of notes on my shows.
Uh-oh. Is that a good thing?
No, they're great. They're like some of the best. Well, because you're friends with me and also my director, Seth, who's directed all 6 of my shows. The one that's most notable, because I think it really improved the show, is on The Old Man in the Pool. We did it at the Berkeley Repertory Theater. Mm-hmm. And afterwards you were like, that was great. And then Seth took you aside and was like, how do you really feel? And I forget what Seth and I have various tricks for squeezing notes out of people that are critical, that they're withholding by being polite.
Yes.
I don't remember what he said, but you said this thing that was really smart, because at the end of the show, I basically say all we have is this moment, and what I want to tell my parents is, and then it cuts to black.
Oh yeah.
And you had this note, which was, you're ending with a thought and you're not ending on an action.
Oh, right.
So we're like, okay, well, what if we landed that action in the locker room? I go back to the YMCA. I see an old man, naked old man massaging his testicles. What about that? And then I have that thought.
Yeah.
I think it made the show 10% better, which, as you know, is a lot. But the reason I bring it up is you give a lot of notes, you get a lot of notes. What's a good note look like? And what does a bad note look like?
Well, I still think a lot about Seth's advice in his book, which is don't tell people you like this or you don't like this. Tell them the way it made you feel. And so often people are like, oh, I didn't mean for you to be focused on that. You know, just telling people, here is my internal reaction to what you showed me is so clarifying.
Yes. So do you lead with that? Like when you show, like Pixar has a really unique approach to workshopping things, which is you'll be able to explain this better, but it's like you do a rough draft, maybe, of the movie.
Yeah, we call it storyboards, story reels.
So when you were doing Leo, which is the movie that comes out this summer, how many drafts do you show people along the way before it's the final draft that people see in cinema?
Well, okay, it depends on what you count as a draft. So we start with a treatment, and then we have scripts, a bunch of versions of the scripts, and then we put everything up almost like comic book form, with our own music, dialogue, sound effects. We did that on Elio is like 10 times.
10 times?
Yeah.
You show everybody at Pixar?
We try to save some people so that they're raw, so they can see it for the first time and give an honest first-timer opinion.
Yeah, I do that with my shows too.
Okay, yeah.
We're always like, okay, well, we'll save this person. This person hasn't seen it.
Yeah. And you know, it's like half the time you show it to somebody and you're like, don't say anything. I already know it's wrong. Seeing it through your eyes, I already have some ideas on what didn't work and what we need to change. So there's that. And then there's usually the note session afterwards, which sometimes is better than other times. I mean, you always get good stuff. Sometimes it's demoralizing. You don't seem to get demoralized, though.
Are you kidding me?
You just rally right back.
Are you kidding me?
People are laughing behind me.
Get the fuck out of my studio. No, I'm completely demoralized all the time.
Are you?
All the time.
Oh, well,
that's outrageous.
That makes me feel better. Well, not really, but I mean, this is what happens for me is like, Joe Grant was this guy I got to know. He was the head of story on Dumbo.
Okay.
So when I knew him, he was in his 90s. So he said, yeah, everything is brilliant until you have to tell it to somebody else. And I'm like, that is absolutely true.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's building up to the screening and you're like, this is going to kill. This is going to get us, everyone's going to lift us on their shoulders.
They'll love us forever.
And then they're like, well, I have some notes. And that's not what you want to hear. And then for me, I usually give myself a day to just wallow in my own self-pity.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens anyway.
Yeah.
And then after that, you start to go like, well, what if we did do that? And then you start to get excited again.
Well, it's funny. I asked one of your collaborators on Up, Tom McCarthy, I go, Pete Docter's coming. I'm interviewing. Do you have any questions? He goes, I have so many. I go, name one. He goes, does he like me? Which means to me that you are mysterious, even to your close friends.
That's hilarious.
Do you ever have feedback where people feel like they have to read you based other than what you're saying?
I'm the wrong person to ask. But the way I try to do it is, here's the way it made me feel, here's the suggestion, and then, this is crucial, here's why. Because what I'm trying to solve with this is blankety, blankety, blank.
Right.
And so if you have something like this lame suggestion that I just gave you, at least then they don't have to take my suggestion, but they know what they're trying to solve for.
Can you give an example of the why?
A lot of times I'll say, hey, what would be funny or what would solve this problem for me is if this character got in the car and drove away.
Yeah.
And that would tell me he doesn't care. And it doesn't mean that you have to get him literally into a car, but what I'm looking for is a sense that he doesn't care. He's just going away.
So in other words, I think you're saying like it's the note under the note. It's
exactly.
Something there. That's how Seth and I always talk about it, is like we'll get feedback from people, and if a bunch of people give notes in a section, that section's not working.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they're, because a lot of people come in hot with their notes.
Oh, yeah?
They'll go, no, what has to happen here is that this character, uncle has to die. You go, no. I don't know if the uncle has to die, but something in that area is clearly not working for you.
Yeah. And have you heard, have you probably experienced this too, where the area people poke at, sometimes the problem is actually before that.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, that we haven't set it up right, or we haven't gotten to this. The actual thing is okay, the thing that's happening, but we haven't.
I feel like maybe that's almost always true.
Yeah, it seems like.
What do you think is the hardest part of the movie? The beginning, the middle, and the end?
All of them. The beginning is hard because if you don't hook people in the beginning, you never get. It's not like I hate this character, but in the middle I decided I love him. That never happens, right? You just like they turn it off, they move on. So you gotta get them at the beginning.
Yeah.
In fact, Elio, that's we redid the beginning. We had animated the whole thing. And we redid the beginning because we realized we're just not connecting with this character. And this is something I'm curious about in your process too. Typically, we think, what we need is more jokes. We need more funny.
Right.
That'll get them. And then what actually works, not just on Elio, but on a lot of films, is empathy and vulnerability. Yeah. Showing the character's deep wound or hurt is usually the way the audience goes, oh, well, now I feel bad for him, and now I'm invested in their story.
Yeah, that was a big note that like 6 months before The Good Life came out, Ira Glass listened to a version of the show, audio from the road, and he goes, it's really good. You just need like 3 or 4 more moments where you tell the audience something that's true and not funny. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's such a simple note, but it's hard to do that.
Well, I keep coming back to your line, which is, before I tell you this next part, remember, you're on my
you're
side.
On my side.
And that's really what we're trying to do.
Right. That's the whole trick of filmmaking is you're like, how do we get people on our side for a thing that's essentially compromising of that character?
Well, here's the thing. Like the act one is hard because we have to set up a character that you like, but that is flawed enough that when we fix them, we're going to be like, good, I like this character better. So they have these awful habits or whatever.
That's right.
Way of looking at the world, and yet somehow we have to make it likable.
You have to fix them enough that it's worth watching a movie for it.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is wild.
Yet you don't hate them and turn it off.
Okay, so to go back to the notes thing, what's your favorite kind of note to get from someone?
I loved it. Perfect. No, I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, of course.
My favorite kind of note.
But it's weirdly not. Like, it's interesting. Like, I'm forgetting the guy's name who wrote the book, but he was one of the co-founders of Pixar who wrote that book, Creativity Inc.
Oh, Ed, yeah. Captain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he has this really, I think, astute point that I feel like since I read the book, I've repeated like 100 times, which is that when people think of Pixar, they think that there was like a formula that was created for making movies, and he's like, no, the opposite. Mm-hmm. Like, it's every movie is a series of problems and challenges, and if it didn't have those challenges, it actually wouldn't be the movie you love. And I think that that's like a great way of looking at it.
Right. And that's the same as people, right? If you didn't make these horrible mistakes in your life, you wouldn't be who you are today.
Right.
So, I mean, every movie, I'm laughing as you said, because we just had a post-mortem on the last movie, and we do that almost every film.
On Elio or the movie before
Elio.
that? Okay.
So we look at it and go like, all right, what did we do on that movie that we never want to do again? What do we learn? And I keep thinking in the back of my head, like, it's always going to be broken. There's always going to be problems.
Yes.
I mean, I guess the wisdom is like, let's learn from this so we don't make that mistake. We can make new mistakes next time.
But it's oddly comforting to think of it that way.
Yeah.
It makes you not maybe want to hide under your desk.
Yeah, I mean, I did have an idea that somewhere out there was the perfect director, and that's what I wanted to become. And then at some point you realize, no. The person who loves director A hates director B, and vice versa. Someone else might hate director B and love director A because of the match, the creative match. You know, that's always a mess.
Wait, so in other words, you were thinking like, how do I become the perfect director?
I want to be the director that everybody loves, that does great movies,
right,
that knows how to speak with people. And I don't think there's such a thing.
Right.
I mean, working with actors, there's some actors who want to talk and analyze everything. There's some who are like, don't say anything. I'm just going to do this.
Right.
I want to be instinctive. So everybody's different.
How do you, I mean, we were figuring this out today. Gary was pointing out that like in a film, it's like hundreds of thousands of frames. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you bring energy to that day after day after day, year after year? Where's the spark?
Yeah, right. And it literally is made one frame at a time.
Yeah.
A good animator can do like 4 seconds in a week. That's the speed at which we go.
Absurd.
I know.
4 seconds in a week. And you have to wake up at 7 a.m. and be like, I'm going to go to work today to work on our section of the 4 seconds.
It's absurd. And that's the animator. That's not counting the person who did all the sim, the cloth, or the background characters, or the lighting, or the textures. So it's absurdly slow. But
what's the part you're talking about, like all the different roles? I was thinking about like how AI interacts with animation right now. It's like, well, AI could technically do half the departments.
Yeah, but
it might not be as
good.
It would
look like? It would be like, look like that. It would be bizarre.
Right. But it's like, which at some point.
Yeah, it will.
For sure. Because even like when they presented the idea of computer graphics at all in the 70s, people were like, that's crazy. It can only be human beings drawing it, right?
Yeah.
So eventually they're going to be like, well, AI can do the lighting, or AI can do the costumes, or AI can do blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what is your thing where you're like, no, this part has to be human beings?
Well, okay, so I was thinking about this. We were watching Elio, and I was realizing we have 150 animators, and I would say, I get myself in trouble if I try to give a percentage of them that are really brilliant. If you look back in time, the number of hand-drawn animators that were really brilliant was in the dozens. Like a very small number of people who could draw well enough, understood the dynamic of movement, character acting, had the right sensibilities. That's like, the Disney's 9 Old Men and a few others.
Yeah.
So not very many.
Right.
But I think computers have
when you say the 9 Old Men, it's like there essentially like 9 guys who made all of those movies for like decades.
Frank Thomas, Ollie Johnson, Milt Kahl, all these great animators from the days of yore. I think computers rather have made animation more accessible. So I don't have to be a brilliant draftsperson to be an animator. I still have to have performance and timing, but like one of the heavy lifts has been done by the computer. And maybe there's some other tax with that. Like I have to understand how the system works and, but I was wondering whether AI will continue to help us lift some of the heavy burdens that we have to carry as an animator and maybe put the focus more on the performance.
Right.
Everything I've seen with AI, at least so far, it looks like you took everything, shook it all up, gave me the average and sanded the edges off. Right. You know what I mean? It feels kind of bland, or like, that's sort of what a bear looks like,
Sure.
But not any specific bear or person, and I don't know if that'll change too, but AI seems like it is the least impressive blah average of things.
At some point, the people who are above you, which I don't even, what are there, 2, 3, 1? How many people?
There's a lot.
But at some point there'll be pressure. They'll go like, we could do a movie for free. We could do a Pixar style movie, except it's free.
Yeah. No, there's already been pressure. I guess the way I look at it, I don't think AI is going to be like, make, film, enter. It's not going to do that. That's what I think everybody's very troubled with it right now, because you're like, well, I don't want to help create the technology that will take over what I do, but it is being trained on everything, right?
Yeah.
AI it's listening to everything you've ever performed and written, and
I know,
and
and it's laughing and and it's experiencing human emotions.
It probably is.
What's funny is there was we were doing research here the other day on history of Pixar stuff, and there was that like long thread on Twitter that went viral about how to make a Pixar story. And then I
didn't see that.
Oh, okay. You didn't see it. I mentioned it to Seth.
What's the answer? How do we do it?
No, I mentioned it to Seth, and he goes, I asked Pete about it once, and he goes, that wasn't us. We didn't do that.
Right. Yeah, I think there is something slightly dangerous about analyzing yourself.
Yeah.
Because then and I've seen a few people do this where they put together talks and package it for easy to understand audience, and then they're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, at every phase, at every film I've worked on, there comes a phase where all the tricks have run out.
Yeah.
I've tried everything and it still didn't work. And then you do something else and that's what solves it. You know what I mean? It's just, I think that's an essential part of the creative process, that you're discovering this thing. If you knew exactly what you wanted from the beginning, for one, I don't think it would be very good, but it wouldn't be very interesting.
The thing that I didn't understand about animation until I read that book that we're talking about, Creativity Inc., is this idea of like in the 70s that they created the idea of motion blur.
Oh yeah.
And then that made it like feel more like what human beings look like, because drawings are essentially all in focus.
Yeah.
And human motion is out of focus to the human eye. And so it was like this breakthrough of like, oh my God, cartoons feel like life a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why it's weird when you see AI pictures and that it puts motion blur in sometimes.
Right.
Like, oh, it's doing it. But yeah, it's early stop motion, like Willis O'Brien or some of the guys who did like King Kong. Can't believe I'm blacking out. Ray Harryhausen. A lot of those are kind of jittery because they didn't know how to blur fast movement.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Pixar came along in the 90s and essentially created the first computer created animation films, right? I mean, that's sort of the innovation.
I don't know that I could credit Pixar for that. I think there were other people who were also doing early computer work, but I guess Pixar foundationally has the first feature-length animated film with computer.
Right.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
Which you worked on.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. That was
it's unbelievable. Ago. You won the Oscar?
No, we got a special Oscar.
Oh, okay.
That John, I think.
Oh, right,
John,
because it predated.
We didn't have
the
animation category.
Right. Oh, there was a special Oscar.
And we were very flattered to be nominated. This was almost more meaningful. Nominated in the screenplay category.
Oh, that's really cool.
So yeah, and it felt kind of mysterious because we were all going like, I don't know how this works. Let's clickety, you know. And Andrew Stanton, I remember getting email from him with, I could barely make it out, typos and spelling errors. And somehow along the way, he just like, I'm figuring this out. And then he put his glasses on and figured it out.
Which part of it? What do you mean?
Just the writing process. During Toy Story, I watched him go from like, I'm just a cartoonist to a writer.
Oh, interesting.
And he would come in with stacks of books about the process. We went to Bob McKee's story structure thing.
Oh my God. So you're saying before Toy Story, you didn't think about, you weren't going to make a feature film. You were just going to animate shorts. And so then you started to think about, okay, what would the structure of a feature length look like? Yeah,
I mean, all of us who were involved there was only one that had worked on a feature, really. I mean, John Lasseter, who's the director, he had animated on a feature. He animated on Fox and the Hound. You guys watch that one?
Yep.
Andrew and I had only done shorts. Joe Ramft, who was our head of story, had actually worked on a story in the story department before. He worked on Rescuers Down Under. But he was also head of story on James and the Giant Peach and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh wow!
So he had the most experience by a long shot of any of us.
Wow.
And he would just say stuff like, trust the process, and be like, huh? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
And also there kind of is no process that
exactly.
predates it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Steve Jobs would pop in and do Punch Up.
Yeah, exactly. No, Steve we barely saw during the making of it. I remember the first time I met him was like 3 months into working there. He showed up to basically let go of the hardware division.
Okay.
And so it was a downer moment, but I got a peek into what they called the reality distortion field that he would create. He was like, we've got a great future. And everybody left going, hey, this is great. We just fired all my friends.
Oh my God.
So that was wild. But then he didn't really show up most of the way through. And then at the end, he was very heavily involved in how we were going to roll this out to the world. He had a lot of opinions about the marketing campaign and advertising and things like that.
What was his take on it? Do you recall?
Well, it's very classic Steve. You know, a lot of times animation, and we're guilty of this too, is like, just put tons of colors on it and put all the characters in there. And he was like, you can only communicate one thing, strip it down, keep it simple, keep it elegant. He had a lot kind of push in that direction. But I think Steve, you know, we would hear stories of him at Apple, and then he would come to Pixar and everyone would kind of back up. And he was pretty gentle. And I remember my wife said, You think anybody ever asks Steve Jobs to go to lunch? I don't know. So I tried it. And so he and I had lunch a number of times, a dozen or so. And one time he told me he hopes that he'll be reincarnated as a Pixar director. So that was interesting.
I mean, that's outrageous. It is, but it is like a dream job. Like, I really do think, like, you know, if you're growing up and you're a creative kid, you think the dream job would be, I'm a director at Pixar. So, like, how is that true? How is it not true?
Well, I was going to say, you should talk to some of the Pixar directors
yeah.
and hear especially the first time through. Because what happens is, it almost feels like it's engineered to find your weak spots and pick at them.
Say more about that.
Well, like if you have trouble making decisions, the whole process is about decisions. Oh boy, okay, that's awful. If you feel insecure, the whole process is going to make you feel more insecure.
Right.
If you're a private person, we're going to probe in because the story itself is going to expose all the things you don't want to talk about in yourself. You know, so it's I watch it every time and I warn new directors coming in. It's like, just so you know, this isn't intentional, but this process is going to expose your weak underbelly for everybody, and we're all going to be talking about it. So you just have to be comfortable with that.
We're all going to be talking about it.
It's true.
I think that really drives the knife in.
It's true.
We're all going to be talking about it over lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for like supporting someone's vision, but also being honest?
I think I'm generally guilty of being too nice, of saying, no, it's great, like you were talking about with Seth at the beginning. And so I think the other extreme is giving people 8,000 disparate notes.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do when people ask me to assess something is first I make all the notes, and then I go, well, there's 3 things. If I really back up, there's 3 things. And you can't really have more than 3 things.
Right. What's the worst reaction you've ever gotten to someone giving notes?
There was one time that, and it wasn't just me, but we gave notes and the director walked out and got in his car and drove home and said, I don't think I'm ever coming back.
Did he come back?
He did, yes. He did. But
that's a hard day.
That was a hard day.
Wow. This is one of the great things about animation is it opens up the scope of what a story can be about. Do you ever find that a more daunting way to create since there are no limitations to what you're making?
Yeah. I think, so often our problem in the first draft is there's just too many ideas. And you have to pare it down and just simplify. Right. And you realize, oh, this is only an hour and a half. That seems like a long time.
Right. It's like the characters could fly.
Yeah.
They could be astronauts. They could swim.
Well,
1,000 miles if they wanted to.
Certain concepts lend themselves to more pitfalls than others.
Yeah.
Like if you have a grouchy old man, I guess the thing that some people felt like, I remember Dan Gerson, who is a writer that I worked with on Monsters, he saw it and he said, the dogs flying airplanes, ooh, you lost me. That just you went too far.
That's the thing.
That went over the line. So, but my point was, you have a human in more or less our world that there's restrictions, right?
Right.
You're gonna, I guess the farthest we're gonna go is like the floating house with balloons. But there are other things going into space or fantasy worlds of some sort that you're right. You can just go blah, 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 off in a direction, and that's bad.
Is one of the like when I think about your movies, it's like the world of Inside Out, for example. It's like, do you have to come up with what are the rules of this parallel universe that doesn't exist, but for us it exists?
Yeah.
Like, what are the rules of Inside Out?
Well, we started with I don't know if I can even answer that. It was something that evolved with the story. And sometimes the rules would be the rules until we realized, well, that can't be the rule anymore. We have to change it.
Right.
They have to be able to do this or that. And then you have to go backwards and be consistent with that.
Right.
You can't just change your mind in the middle of a story. You can if you're making the story, as long as it's consistent.
But that must be crazy because there's 100 people working on the movie or more, right?
Yeah.
How many people working on one of those movies? 300?
Yeah, 300 usually.
Right. So it's like, then you have to be like, hey, memo for everybody. Actually, these characters can fly now.
That is part of the director's job, is to go around like, I know last week I said this is not supposed to have a, well, now it is. And not, lose too much people's faith.
That is such a hard job, though, to direct a movie like that. That's 300 people you have to convince of a world that does not exist all the time and changes.
It's a little bit like a military structure. You have the director, then you have all these heads of each department, and if you communicate to them about certain things, they can disseminate. That's how you pronounce it. The information to people. So that makes it a little bit. I mean, we have an amazing crew of people.
Do you ever punch out of a film that you conceived of that you'd put in years and years on?
No, I think there were one or two that I worked on for months and months. Wall-E was one that I had tried to get in to process like twice, and it didn't go. And Andrew picked it up, and I was like, if you can get it to go, great.
Like, in other words, get it to work, or get it
into production.
Greenlit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we had come up with some of the stuff of, this robot on a planet full of trash, and but he was the one that really cracked it. So
when you're working on like we're talking,
and obviously he directed it and wrote it and everything else.
Right.
I just did the very
course.
early stuff, which is a little bit like, as Bob McKee says, whistling on the steps of Carnegie Hall. Like, it's easy to have ideas,
right?
But to actually get the thing to go and make people care, and that's the hard part. That's what Pixar's been sued quite often, especially the more popular films, for whatever reason.
Sure,
they get a lot of lawsuits.
Sure.
So I think it always makes me upset because we didn't steal anything. Even if we had, it's not the idea. It's the execution of it. It's the 5 years you spent figuring out how to put that across.
Right.
That's the hard work.
Oh, yeah. No, I can only imagine. Because, of course, that's, that stand-up comedy is a similar thing. It's the illusion of, that's something I was thinking the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, but you didn't, you weren't able to whittle it down to 7 words in a row in front of an audience.
And you didn't devote your life to standing in front of a crowd and listening to the show every day afterward, and all the work that,
Right, that's the magic trick of stand-up comedy, and I suppose that's the magic of filmmaking as well.
Yeah. Did we talk about this?
There
was a great, Penn and Teller. Penn wrote something, and I think it was Smithsonian. He said, "You will be fooled by a trick if it involves more work and effort than any sane person would be willing to invest."
Yeah.
And that's the same with what we do.
That's right. That's such a great way of looking at it. Right. You have to invest an extraordinary amount of time. Like when you were working on, because that's the first film from Pixar in the 90s is Toy Story. When you're working on that, did you feel like, this is going to be what takes over?
No, I totally... Well, for one, I don't know that I ever really stopped and thought, will this be successful or not?
Sure.
I was just like, this is fun. Let's keep going. And then once it came out, I remember we had the... press would always ask, how long do you predict before real actors are replaced by computer-generated ones?
Gosh.
That was their big fear then. And is this going to replace hand-drawn? And we said never to both, and we were sort of wrong on one. I mean, hand-drawn, there's still hand-drawn animation, but not at the same sort of scale and finesse that there was at Disney back in the day. It's now CG, so... But I had no idea. I guess you're asking.
What do you think could be the thing that's next after this? So it's like motion blur was in the 70s, and then it's like essentially like films on computers in the 90s, and then it's like, what is the next thing that might happen?
Well, Mike, if I knew that, I wouldn't give it away free on your podcast. I have no idea.
Do you have any hint of it? Do you think that I guess what I'm thinking of is like, people always make a strong case for VR. And I'm always like, I believe you. You know, some people, you know what I mean? Like, I believe you, but I'm not there on it.
No, I know. And every time you try, they're like, yeah, put these glasses on, and it starts getting a bruise on your nose, and then
right.
And you're sweating under there, and you're like, this isn't really fun, and I can't see the person who's sitting next to me anymore. So
totally,
I don't know.
Takes away the fun of it.
Yeah.
Do you read like futurism writing and things like that about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that seems like depressingly already happening is that when people are walking around on their phones, they are in a virtual world already.
That's right.
They're walking around, so they're amongst us, but not really.
Right.
And that seems like it's not going to go away, because it's very tempting. It's pleasurable somehow to get texts from people, and
right.
I don't know why that is.
It's hitting our dopamine centers and doing something to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going to happen in terms of storytelling or filmmaking or stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's such a weird cross-section of, the financial situation and technology and sociology. And I got to believe that, so far as we can tell, people from caveman days when they could first talk were sitting around fires telling stories.
That's right.
I doubt that's going to change in the next 2 years, because that's a couple million years worth of...
Yeah, I don't think that's changing. That's my case always for film.
Yeah. How it is going to manifest, I don't know. It might be on some other device. But I do think there's also something people, even though there's more streaming than ever, there is something people crave or find reward in sharing that with other people, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for you especially, you can't have a comedian with a one-person audience. Even when they're watching at home, you sense the audience. That's why you're there, right?
No, absolutely. And I think like live stand-up comedy is bigger than it's ever been right now.
Maybe because people aren't going to movies as much, but they still crave the
being
human
in a group
connective.
and and laughing in a group. Yeah, there's certainly something to it. The thing that I was always confused by with Pixar in relationship to Disney was when Pixar came out, I was like, it's like punk rock to what Disney I would describe as like rock and roll. And what is your relationship to both? And then when they became one, or one became a subset of the other, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah. Okay. So when I got the call that we were going to be bought by Disney, guess where I was? I was standing on the riverboat at Disneyland.
Disneyland, sure.
So
there you go.
It all sort of fits. And part of me was like, oh, that's exciting and troubling at the same time. Because I was
Were you with your kids?
Yeah, they were there. I was immediately thinking, that means we have access to the archives. We can go look at all the drawings that all the great animators did.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. Not anything really business-wise. I think Steve Jobs, he knew that he was dying of cancer.
Right.
He wanted the place to be cared for, and he did consider a long time the idea that could we be our own thing. But I guess his thought was that we'd be so sink or swim, every film would be success or failure, that it just felt too dangerous, even for a guy willing to take pretty big risks.
Yeah.
So tethering to Disney, you're going to stay afloat.
What would your biggest piece of advice be for a young teenager who wants to be an animator right now?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. It's easier than ever. The other thing I've said, like, you would never think of handing someone who's never played before a violin and saying, you have natural talent. You're playing on Carnegie Hall tonight. Like, it takes years to practice and get better.
Right.
Filmmaking is no different. It's not like some people are born with talent and some people aren't. I mean, that's true to some degree.
Right.
But you need, either way, you're going to need to practice.
Right. So what do you think is the calibration of hard work and talent that makes the best animators?
I don't know. It's almost impossible to answer, because I know, and I can look at, okay, my mom is moving out of her house, and we had looking through old stuff, and I have drawings of my own, and they're like, oof, I did not have an innate talent as a kid.
Yeah.
It was clunky, but for whatever reason, I had the enthusiasm, and I stuck with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the proportion of that is, if it's just blind optimism, or I mean, obviously talent does get external reward from people, they're like, ooh, that's a good drawing. And then you are enthusiastic and keep going.
Well, what is the thing that, because I have to imagine that on these films through the years, you're sometimes working 15, 16-hour days. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's the thing when you're working on a movie 2, 3 in the morning that's making you go, we have to do this?
I don't know. What's the thing for you? You just feel like you have to do it.
I'll come on your podcast and answer it.
All right. I don't know. You just feel like it has to be good. It has to be good.
Right.
How many, Brad Bird said, pain is temporary, film is forever.
So great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is the slow round.
Slow round.
Who are you jealous of?
I'm jealous of Bill Watterson, the guy who did Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, wow.
Who drew that, said, I'm retiring, and disappeared from society.
Is that what he did?
I mean, nobody really knows where he is because he just doesn't want the public attention.
Yeah.
So that
he's
seems
not doing podcasts.
Well, no, he's not. That is true. And I think on purpose, he's just like, I get to stay home and paint.
He's hiding under his desk, but we just don't know where the desk is. What's the best piece of advice you've been given that you used?
Well, Seth's. Don't just tell people how you feel about it. Tell them your experience, how you experienced it.
How you experienced it, yeah. What about in your career? Any piece of advice about your career that you used? Like, I feel like you're at the top of the mountain that you decided to climb up. And was there any point along the way that someone goes, hey, stick with it because of this?
Well, the thing I would say is, first of all, it's a mountain that you created in your head because there is no top. Right. Everybody, like I could be working in my garage. Maybe Bill Watterson's at the top right now because he's doing exactly what he wants to be doing.
Right.
So I'm in this weird position of power or whatever you want to call where I am.
Sure.
But I think somebody told me early on, don't worry about making money. Do what you love.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would have been able to do that anyway, but I even choosing to come to Pixar, nobody knew what Pixar was.
Right, didn't exist.
I had the option to go to this lifelong dream of working at Disney or this new upstart, which was The Simpsons, and everybody was talking about. Instead, I went this other way because it just felt like the right way to go.
Why, though?
Why, exactly.
It's like, why'd you do it?
I just had a good feeling about it.
Yeah. The people seemed like people that you had like something in common with.
Yep. And I liked the stuff that they were doing.
What's a song that makes you cry?
What's the song of okay, hang on. September Grass by James Taylor.
Oh. What about it,
There's just something I don't know, that seems it's personal, but it reminds me of my wife. And it feels like a time that's passing, that like this warm, rich time that is going away. And I know that's going to happen to all of us throughout our lives, and that just feels beautiful and sad.
That's sweet. Can you remember a time in your life where you were sort of an inauthentic version of yourself?
Yeah. I mean, when I started directing on Monsters, I was trying to be John Lasseter. And a number of people kind of inadvertently fed that by saying, when this happens to John, what he does is blank and blank, which I took as, oh, I'm crappy.
Right,
and
sure.
I need to kind of do what John's doing. I try to be big, and he's a very different personality than me.
How'd you figure out to be yourself?
Well, I just wasn't very good at being him.
Right.
So, and I think
felt like it wasn't quite working, even though the movie was really successful and worked.
Well, it was along the way that started to shape of like, oh, I have to find my own version of this.
Yeah.
I can't use his.
Yeah.
Because he already thought of it. It's his thing already.
Right.
I got to do my own thing.
Did you ever have a pit stop with it where you're just like, ugh, like this hit a wall?
Well, okay, so this is weird. In the middle of that movie, directing that film, I literally lost my voice for 3 months.
Oh my God.
I could only speak about like this to people because I went to the doctor. I had a paralyzed vocal cord.
Oh gosh.
And as we talked about at the beginning, the only thing a director does is go around and talk to people. So I was basically hobbled. Wow. I could not do the job. And I think it was just weird how, like, if you were writing a script, you'd put that in and be like, that's too obvious.
It's a little on the nose, a metaphor.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was part of what led you to becoming yourself.
I think it is. I think it was part of figuring out what, not only my voice as a filmmaker, but like as a leader.
Yeah.
People, how do you deal with that?
Wow. Do you have a memory on a loop from your childhood that comes back?
Ooh. That's a good question. There's a weird, so as many people did, we made a tribute film to Star Wars on Super 8 millimeter. Did you do that?
No.
Okay. A lot of, if you talk to people at work, there's a lot of fan films made.
Of course. No,
and there was one moment that we had a friend of ours, she was dressed in a Darth Vader outfit, and we had buckets of dry ice obtained at great expense.
Oh my gosh.
And we put them in the garage, and the garage opened and dry ice came out, and there came Darth Vader, and it was so cool. Of course, it looks, you can see the bowls that are holding the water as
Do you still have that footage?
I think so, yeah.
That's cool.
But that, for whatever reason, maybe because we're also moving my mom out of the house, that garage door kind of has been playing in my head. We were so anxious to shoot it, I didn't even set up a tripod. I was like, all right, go. And then just filming handheld.
It must be crazy for you because George Lucas was a part of Pixar in some way, shape, or form when it started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that must be crazy. If your childhood thing was making Star Wars, reenactments, like what? Did you ever have an interesting interaction with him?
Yeah, we had to screen. So Monsters came out at the same time as one of the newer Star Wars films that he was directing. I don't remember the names of them all now, but we had to screen. We wanted to put his trailer on the front of Monsters, and so we screened the film for him early on. So it was me and John and George Lucas, and I think that's about it. Sitting there watching this movie that I directed, and I was like, "Oh, this is so weird," but he liked it.
Can you think of a scene or a moment in your life that you realize in retrospect changed your life?
Well, this isn't a specific scene, but I remember being so pissed off. So my parents were both musicians, conductors. My mom directed children's choirs, my dad at a college. And so we were always going to concerts, classical music. And so it was so boring. And I remember being so pissed that I was there, and I was sort of squirming around, and my mom said, "Sit still." She kind of smacked my leg. And I was not knowing what else to do. I grabbed all the programs and just started drawing on them. And I do think between that and church, just wanting to entertain myself at times that felt boring, that's what got me into this.
The final thing we do is working out for a cause. Is there a nonprofit that you like to support? We will contribute to them and then link to them in the show notes.
Ooh. Yeah. International Justice Mission, IJM, is another one that does great work. And it was one that sort of like, wait, what? They send lawyers to different parts of the world. And I'm like, lawyers? And then you realize, they're actually cutting down by like 70% child trafficking.
Wow.
And abuse of women, just because a lot of countries are not doing anything about it.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, we will contribute to them. We will link to them in the show notes. And Pete Docter, I've been talking to you about coming on this podcast for many years. One of my favorite filmmakers of all time. It's such an honor to speak with you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm here with Pete Holmes, one of my dear friends. And I say that because we're...
Space.
I love that you think your idea of In Outer Space is better than me just finishing a sentence.
I didn't think you were going to stop. I thought it was going to be kind of like a soundtrack. Like you were like, this is Mike Birbiglia.
Literally introducing the episode.
This is free ice cream.
They have no idea what they're listening to.
You really do look like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of Paul Rudd, and somebody superimposed Matt Damon and sprinkled a little Hanks.
Okay.
These are all compliments if you look deep.
You also said to me once, Mike Birbiglia looks like a cheese pizza that wished to become a real boy.
Yeah, that's nice. Sorry, I'm a huge fan. You know, I was just doing the DC Improv, and I'm always like, slow down. Yeah, and so I do you on stage, as I've mentioned.
What is the impression of me that you do in the show? Because you told me it went really well in DC.
It got an applause break. Your name.
What do you do?
But I say it's a story about I was sexting with my wife, and then I finished, and she was still going. It's gross, but it's what happened. And then she's still texting, and I'm like, sex doesn't make sense anymore. I'm on empty. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm so wet. And I'm like, gross.
Oh my God.
And that's not even it. And then I go, I don't want to talk about sex. At this point, I'm as sexless as Mike Birbiglia.
Oh God.
And the place goes nuts. And then she goes, what would you do to my body? And I go, I don't want to do anything. And then I spin around while they're cheering.
I love that that's the impression of me. I don't want to do
But I also mess up my hair. I go, I don't want to do anything. But there's a real power in it. You know I love you. I'm a huge fan, and you've inspired me so much. And honestly, watching Chappelle, Gerard, you, that's the trifecta that nobody else is mentioning.
Oh my God.
But you do have something in common, which is like you understand the power of silence and the power of going slow.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this every time we've talked, but it's like the act should look like this. And I've been guilty of going out trying to speed bag it. And I like murdering, don't get me wrong. But who says Chappelle doesn't murder? You know what I mean? But he also takes these moments. I heard him talk about it. He was like, did you watch his Duke Ellington school speech? Remember he talked about, you draw their focus on a single item.
Yeah.
And then you surprise them.
Yeah.
That's what I see him doing with the pauses. That's what I see you doing with the pauses.
Thanks.
I watched Nathaniel, and you guys are doing what all the classics are doing. Like when Gerard opens it by saying, I mean, it might as well be you. I've been honest with you about everything except my name. And then you drop it off.
Oh, yeah.
Then you do the show, and you go at the end.
Yeah.
My name's Birbiglia.
Yeah.
And everyone goes nuts.
It's a tease. He teases the whole arc of the show.
And someone in the show goes, he goes, I'm being honest with you. And someone goes, except about your name. And he makes this face. And the way I interpret the face that Gerard gives him is, lady, you don't think I'm going to say it at the end? You know what I mean? It's like, you seriously think I'm like, I just dropped that?
Yeah, Gerard, I love that special. And your special's great. Your special's fantastic.
Thanks,
your
man.
Special falls into the category of a lot of times people need to laugh.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people most often ask me for recommendations when they're experiencing something where they're like, God, I just got to laugh. So like, what's like a foolproof kind of thing?
Yeah.
And your new special is that.
Thanks, man.
Which must make you feel good. Does it make you feel good?
Well, you and I have a very special relationship. And one of the things that makes it special is that I think we're honest with one another.
Yeah.
And I've shown you specials before. And you always like them, but I could tell you really like this one.
Yeah.
And when I make them, it's important to have avatars.
Yeah.
People that you're trying to please.
Yeah.
In the balcony, in the imaginary balcony of your mind.
Yeah.
And you're in one of those seats.
Thanks.
For sure. Yeah. No, I don't know who else is in the seats. I mean, Val, my wife. I want her future, my daughter. I'd like her to think it was.
We all have Mulaney in our seats.
But he's not there. He didn't show. There's a seat that says reserved.
He couldn't make it. He's 20 minutes late.
Even in my imagination, he's like,
he's a half hour late for being
sorry.
20 minutes late.
JK John, if you see this.
No, I think he'll see this.
Taron Killam does the best Mulaney.
Is that right?
He goes, I can't do it. That's funny. It's like that. And I was like, oh my God, you really saw him. Like we can all go, murder. You know what I mean? But he goes, that's funny. And I'm like, that's funny.
Oh, that's a very good impersonation. Here's my impression here's my impression of John, just in this situation. So, Pete.
That's good.
Tell me, Pete, that's your hair, right? That's your original hair?
That is so good.
Okay. No, I'm good.
That's so
It's always like solving a problem. Okay, we're going to go.
That's funny.
I'm going to gonna orient people. So I'm here with Pete Holmes today, probably our most popular guest ever.
Is that real?
I think so. I mean, it's the thing that people always want.
You know who you look like, really? You look like a guy from the future.
Yeah.
And there's something going around.
Why do you have to interrupt me so much?
There's like we're eating these protein pouches.
Get through an introduction.
The protein pouches are like not working on some of the population. That's what the doctor says.
I don't know why you're interrupting me so much. I'm just trying to introduce the episode.
Because you reminded me of what people like about our dynamic.
Okay.
It's because you're always giving me a go.
Yeah. Giving you what?
A go.
What's a
no
go?
one can hear you on stage
What's
either.
A
you
go?
should know that. People
really?
laugh because you pause. You don't end a joke, you fade out.
I get the note, but I'm like, why do 10 times more people show up to my shows than yours?
There he is.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the Damon smile. Put a space helmet on him. It's the Martian.
Oh my God!
Somebody get a fishbowl.
Today,
we got a Damon.
I'm with my friend Pete Holmes, and here's the warning I'll give you people. We are close friends. We talk on the phone all the time. We run jokes like we do on Working It Out all the time. We make fun of each other constantly. We still love each other. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. That's the warning. And he's got a great special. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic.
Means the world.
Produced by Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. That's our first bit.
Hey.
That's our first bit.
Hey, Petey. I think you should do a special on Netflix. Be my company, all things comedy.
Nah.
What do you think?
Nah, I'm serious. You should do a special with me. Bill Burr. Dot, dot, dot.
God.
That's my impression of Bill Burr singing New York, New York. Dot, 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 dot. You know what?
You're peaking. No, you're peaking the microphone. There's no way that's usable.
Gary's on the levels.
No, he's not on the levels. Gary, are you even on the levels? Are you lowering the levels for that? That's just peaking, right?
That's what a producer does, Mikey.
No,
they
but
turn it up when you do your
peak,
NPR
right?
voice, and they turn it down when I do my Opie and Anthony voice.
Nah.
Hey, Pete. Well, I said to you.
You ever done? It's like he just thought of it. Hey, Pete. You ever think about doing a comedy special? And you're like, I've done like 5 He's like, nah, you should do one.
I opened for Bill 20 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah. My friend.
Because you're both Boston guys.
Yeah, but it was my friend Dan Kaufman, who's a very funny guy, talented artist. He would sometimes not be available. He'd get a gig, and he wouldn't be available. And he'd call me, or he'd call Kumail. We were open micers, and would fill in when he couldn't do it. And the 2 times Dan Kaufman couldn't do it, Jim Gaffigan, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
So I like 2 arena comedians now. I opened for them when they were club comics.
Wow.
And Bill, at that time was still figuring it out. I remember saying to somebody, a comic in the scene, I was like, yeah, I was just in fucking Peoria opening for Bill Burr. And the guy went, Billy Burr?
He originally was called Billy.
But they couldn't believe that he was headlining. That's how long ago this was.
Because he was such a young kid at the time.
And he was a club guy. He's doing 20 at the Cellar, and they're like, he's going out? Billy Burr? Not dismissive, but kind of like, really?
My great mistake with Bill a million years ago, and I've since apologized to him about this, is when I met him, he had such a baby face that I thought we were the same age.
That's a nice thing.
Because he's got about 10 years on me. Right, but then it didn't lead to good stuff because I was like, hey, we should do shows together. Oh. Like we were peers and we weren't peers.
Well.
And it was, and it never.
Look for the love. I say look for the love. No, I just did Corolla's podcast and he's kind of shitting on things and saying things that might be hard to agree with. Just look for the love. There's some love in there. You go, I know you're making this joke about this and this, but it's because you care. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't. If you feel uncomfortable, just look for the love. And I see you saying something nice to Bill. Like I thought we were young and spry.
That's what I thought.
But I called him 20 years later. We went and saw The Ring together.
Okay.
The Ring.
Yeah, I remember that one. The VCR makes you freeze or something.
Yeah, it was just he and I in the theater, courtesy seat between us. And then
courtesy seat between
us.
Okay.
Very on brand. And then all these years later, to have him produce my special. So I called him. I didn't know how involved he was, being real. Because he's got a company. And
Big company, yeah.
And then I called and I was just like, I'm a mushy guy and I like being grateful. It's a good feeling for me. And I'm like, hey, it just means a lot to have you, because he kind of walked me into Netflix.
Yeah.
It's hard,
It's hard to get Netflix special.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard out there.
It's very hard.
And he was kind of like, nah, I'll vouch for you. He waved me into the club.
Wow.
So I called him and I left him a big mushy message. And it's Bill Burr, But then he called me back and I didn't answer. I couldn't answer or whatever. I didn't see it. And he left me like a real sweet, like, I'm embarrassing myself, but he was like, it's fun listening to Bill be sincere.
Yeah.
Because then he immediately will start roasting himself.
Yes.
Because he's like, well, you don't have to thank me. He pushes away. You don't have to thank me. He goes, give it to the cream of the crop. And that's where you are. And there you go. There's your mushy message from Soft Heart Bill. Go fuck yourself. And like hangs up. You know what I mean? It's just like the persona comes in to like chase him away.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. But it meant a lot.
Yeah.
And then you know what else was really special about it was it got interrupted by the lockdown, which I don't want to make light of that. So many people and the loss of that. But from my perspective, I was about to film my special. Lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And then 2 more years. So this was barrel aged. And you and I, we watch younger kids' specials and a lot of times I can enjoy them and simultaneously be like, they should have done more reps, just more reps.
Yeah, just perform more times.
Out of love.
Try out the jokes more times.
Again, find the love. I'm not giving you shit. I'm saying look, we all think it's ready. Maybe hit pause. You're good at that.
Chris, and I've talked to Chris Rock about it recently. It's like that's the generational thing right now, which is the younger generation, they do less repetitions of the same material to hone that material. I don't know if it's a generalization. It's something that it seems to be happening.
It's not really their fault either. They're in an instant economy.
Yes.
And social media.
Film it, put it out, it gets 10 million views.
So I had all this time to ferment it. So when I watch it, I can even tell you a line. I do this joke about during the lockdown, I knew I was in trouble. I was getting soft because I went back to eating Doritos, which I hadn't had in a long time. And I go, I forgot there's a charge to a Cool Ranch Dorito. You put it on your tongue, it's like licking a 9-volt battery. This is all standard fare. These are just jokes. There's a charge. You're like, and your brain is so confused. There's so many ingredients. You're like, is this sex? And your brain doesn't know. That's all a joke. That's not a lot of reps to get to that.
Yeah.
The line that took hundreds of doing times, and you get bored with the joke and you want to entertain yourself, and you see there's just a little room, like making a cake. I think I could inject just a little bit of frosting in that bite. And you go, so I'm sitting on my couch eating a big bag of battery sex chips. That's the line. And
battery sex chips.
And that becomes, people text me, battery sex chips.
Battery sex chips.
It becomes like pull quote.
I love it.
And you and I know, 2 old farts, we know, Gary Gulman knows, those are the reps. Yeah. You're bored. Well, you're desperate.
Let's take that apart. Battery sex chips. Why is it funnier than the original joke? I think the reason it's funnier is that it's the joke inside the joke. So you have the joke and it's like, oh, okay.
It's like a battery, it's like sex, but then you pay it off, yeah?
And then and so you say the first joke and we're like, oh, okay, we're all living in the same house. We're all roommates.
Right.
That's the first part of the joke. Second part of the joke is we're roommates, and remember that funny thing that happened like a half hour ago?
And that's what you do with friends.
And that's what you do with friends. And that's what stand-up comedy is, I think, at its best. It's working great.
I have a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah.
Bad comedy is they're listening to you. You're like an oligarch. Good comedy is we're listening to each other.
Yeah, we're listening to each other.
I do a joke now. I was just at the DC Improv, hot room. You try a new joke. It doesn't work. You go, you guys just cut that from the next special.
Yeah, I always say that.
Thank you.
I always say
that. And I go, when you watch this and this joke isn't in there, you can be like, I did that. And they love it.
Sometimes I'll say, this is the funeral of that joke.
That's great. I won't steal that. I'm tempted to.
This is the funeral
of that joke. The only
joke.
compliment. I want to borrow that. I want to have that joke. But it's so healthy. At the beginning, you're like a fortress. You know what I mean? And as you soften and get more comfortable up there, you really realize this is you're informing this so much. You're telling me what's me even.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, you get a frequency that they're like, I don't think that's you. And you're like, so I forgot myself for a second.
No,
it's
you're
like
absolutely right.
It's like a good friend, a good crowd. A bad crowd, you're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But a good crowd, if they don't like something, you're like, uh-oh.
Well, that was like a famous thing that Seinfeld said in an interview once.
My voice is shot.
Was that an impression?
Mike!
What's
the
this?
deal?
Who is that?
It's me.
Who?
Jerry!
Who? Jerry who?
Jerry, comedy legend. Chappelle says he's the goat. I'm the goat. Billy Goat's gruff voice, sore throat. Get that goat some NyQuil, Dayquil, Vapor Rub. Your mom rubs it on you.
This is awful. This is making stop.
Do we really need to drop the R on vapor to make it shorter for Vapor Rub? How about Vapor Rub, Vicks?
Horrible.
That's very good. Send it to Sign. Send it to him.
Oh, God.
Voicemail? Is it really in an envelope? Am I opening up my voicemail?
You just shortened Seinfeld to Sign? Nobody's ever
Send
called
it to
him
the
that?
Sign. Oh, his father's sign business was called Seinfeld Sign Co. So don't fuck with a fan. You were trying to keep your liver from collapsing. Like you really look like you're on life support.
You used to do...
You look like you live on a planet where there's no sun. Like we found you just in time. Get this guy some vitamin D. Have you ever gone on a stroll?
like for a walk?
Yeah, just like that's what we call it, stroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not know the words. The outdoors is free. They don't swipe a card or anything.
You used to do a Seinfeld thing on your talk show on TBS.
Yes.
And did Seinfeld like it?
I actually met him, and he came up to me, the dream of dreams, and he goes, "Oh, I saw that new material Seinfeld thing you did. It's great." And he walked away. But it was a great meeting. A couple months later, we're shooting Crashing. I'm in Washington Square Park. I can't go through Washington Square Park without thinking about this. I get a phone call from Ted Sarandos.
Okay.
Guy owns
CEO of Netflix. Created Netflix.
So I just get this is not my normal day-to-day.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Sarandos for you. I'm
Yes.
like, I'll accept.
Yeah,
like
sure.
a collect
I'll
call.
accept the charges.
I'll
Yes,
accept.
Yes.
Yeah. I steal the password, but I'll pay for the call. JK, Ted, I pay. Daddy's funding the whole family. So Ted, who I had met a couple times, is on the phone. And he's like, Jerry and I had dinner the other night. We're doing Comedians in Cars. He loves new material, Seinfeld. We were thinking maybe we could have dinner, me, you, and Seinfeld. Now, you'll never meet a bigger Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
Except maybe Ryan Hamilton, who's slowly turning into... See, I give it out to everybody. And I'm like, I'm in New York. And he was like, oh, well, hit me up when you're in LA, and we'll try and make it happen. And I was like, okay. And he was like, here's my email.
Yeah.
Ted at... I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't remember what it was. Buddy, never happened.
Never happened.
I get back to LA. Of course, the first email I send. Hey, Ted, remember when you said my dreams could come true?
Right.
Just the dinner. I don't care if we do it.
Yeah.
I just want to be at a fucking white tablecloth with Seinfeld and just kind of...
Yeah. So the mistake,
This waiter
the tactical
seems like
error,
he's impatient waiter.
The tactical error, I think the tactical error you made is that you should have just gone like, I'm going to be there next week.
No, the tactical error, I'm with you. Because I replay this like the one that got away. I was shooting Crashing. I'd be like, I'll fly out Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll have dinner Saturday. I'll fly back Sunday. I would have hated it. And it was probably an act of self-love that I didn't offer that.
I had that with Gaffigan. When I was in college, I went to the alumni house at Georgetown. I looked up comedian. There was one result. It was 1997. It was Jim Gaffigan. Only comedian from Georgetown, like ever.
Wow.
And I called him on his landline.
Hello? Oh, I don't like that. Is Jim there? He's looking for Jim. First gaff try.
Hello?
You know what I used to... Because I opened for him, I was like, I like Jim because you can picture him in any situation.
Yeah.
And I realized, I was like, you can't picture me in a lot of situations. And I was like, Jim in a strip club would be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? But it would be funny. I don't mean like he's genuinely into it, but like he could do an act out like, here's me at a strip club. Oh God. Like it's funny.
Right.
Whereas I, at that point, didn't have a persona that could go in a saloon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I got to branch out. I can picture this guy anywhere.
So I called Jim Gaffigan's landline, and he's like, well, if you're ever in town in New York, you know, I'll take you to lunch, talk about comedy. I'm like, I'll be there next week.
You did it.
Took the bus.
You did it.
Stayed at my sister's
So
couch.
you did it right.
Yeah.
You did it right.
I just said, I'll be there next week. And it was a total lie.
2 Gaffigan stories. Remember, I was opening for him in the Midwest. Then I moved to New York, probably in part thinking like, I know Bill Burr, I know Jim Gaffigan, I'm going to be fine. He calls me. It's like the first week I'm in Brooklyn. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's to open for him. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. And he's like, are you still in Chicago? And I'm like, no, I just moved to New York.
Yeah.
I say it like it's good news. And he's like, oh. Because he needed a local guy.
Right,
he doesn't want to fly me out.
And put you up.
That's the point.
Yeah.
In Jim's phone, I know this because he emails me and it'll still say, watch out those notes you put in those email addresses because sometimes they show up. It says, Pete Holmes, comedian, Chicago, worked with.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Worked with.
So then I moved to New York. I finally see Jim at the Improv, the old Improv. And I lived in Park Slope at the time. And I took the train with him after the show. Just like a burr on his sock. Bill Burr on his sock.
Okay.
And I forget, it was like a train that I had to transfer, right? And we're on the train and we got to my stop. This is where I have to get off, but he's giving me advice.
Yeah.
And I stayed on the train.
Oh.
Isn't that's New York romance?
Yeah, I love that.
And you know what he told me? He probably told you the same thing. He said, be undeniable.
Yeah, it's true.
And he goes, they're not going to pay attention to you until they have to pay attention to you. So all my comedy notebooks, I wrote "Be undeniable" at the top.
And that was originally that's a Steve Martin. That's a Steve Martin piece of advice from his book Born Standing Up.
I'm not trying to take it away from Steve, but I bet fucking Mark Twain said it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's just good advice. It's humility. It's like, you know what I tell comics? I go,
you just said Steve. You just said Steve as though that you know him.
I don't.
But I just want to make sure the listeners know
that
I do.
Know him. Yeah.
But I just want to make sure the listeners know that you don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know.
So just if you could just apologize into that camera.
You know, while you're stroking your ego in every frame of this podcast, why not frame a photo of you guys? Is there a shot in this studio that doesn't say, don't forget I'm important?
Oh my God.
Don't forget I matter. Just write I matter on a Post-it and put it in between all these posters.
I matter.
Just say I'm important. I matter. I'm here. He's one of those I wouldn't want to meet him.
You would though.
I'm not saying I think he'd disappoint me, but what am I going to say?
No, I know.
I
feel
blubber. I'm going to blubber. It's like me and Seinfeld. I can't handle it.
I had that with Jimmy Kimmel. Was nice enough when I was on a show recently to take me out to dinner with Martin Short, who I'd never met. And I had that thing where it's like I look up to him so much that I'm every word I'm saying is echoing in my brain in circles. Like, is that okay? Is that I just said a thing? Is that okay? Is that okay?
This is why he only hangs out with Steve Martin. You know what I mean? Like that's the only friendships in the building. You know what I mean? It's like you can't talk to me. I opened for Martin Short. It was a big deal, and I was so excited. And buddy, talk about vulnerability. When my agent was like, "Do you want to open for Martin Short outside of San Francisco?" I was like, "Of course I do." Three Amigos, all that stuff. I was thrilled. I get there. On the flight there, I'm basically picturing us on a tandem bicycle.
Yeah.
Like in the fall,
Kermit, the frog, etc.
And we're still not sure how they did it. But I went in his enormous, ornate dressing room.
Yeah.
Just because of the venue. It's not like he insists on that. And I said hello, and he was getting ready for the show. He wasn't mean. He was just like, hello.
Right.
And then I was like, and then I ate shit because Martin Short draws a little bit older than old Petey.
Yeah.
I did my best. I saw all these jazzy night out jackets on like women in their 60s. I eat shit. And then he goes on stage and starts murdering. And I'm like, and I'm standing in the wings, sad.
Yeah.
We're not friends. I did badly.
Yeah.
He probably didn't even watch. Now he's murdering.
Oh,
and I look to my left, and there's the Jiminy Glick outfit just on a table, just a Glick mask. And I look at this lifeless Jiminy Glick, and I just left. I was so sad.
Yeah.
That's comedy.
Yeah, I've had that a handful of times where I opened once when I was starting out for Dennis Miller, and it was just like, he came in. I don't even think I met him. They told me the introduction. I did my set. He walked off stage and went straight into a car and was gone. I didn't meet him. Yeah. I opened for him in a symphony hall in Baltimore, and we didn't say hello.
Yeah. You don't say hello to me. What am I, Alexander Graham Bell? What, are you going to pick up a phone and touch someone? I can't help you. What is this, the Sith Lord Darth Vader trying to talk to the Emperor? Sorry, I'm busy destroying a planet, kiddo.
Oh, my God. That was good.
Yeah, it was first try.
Good Dennis Miller.
Sometimes the first try is the best try. Then you try and get back there. We call that chasing the dragon.
I don't have a Martin Short, but I'll...
Oh, hello.
I was going to go, so what do you do?
So what exactly do you do? He's so debonair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I watch Only Murders. I'm watching the new season, which you're in. You get killed. You're Paul Rudd.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm Paul Rudd, right?
You're Ant-Man's before picture.
God, geez.
You're the picture Paul Rudd tapes to his treadmill.
Oh, God.
To keep going.
So cruel.
We're friends. We're friends.
But that crosses the line.
I agree. Why do you look like old-timey sped up, like time-corrected footage from the turn of the century? Like, I feel like if you walk through an old mansion, people would just be like, I saw a ghost. Like, I'm definitely sure. Like, you're looking a little washed out.
Pete,
people watching this on Instagram, this is not in black and white. This is Mike in color. You can cut some of these out.
No, I like these.
It's your show.
No, I like all these. These are good burns. I think burns among friends are one of the sweetest things that you can possibly do.
Subtitles on, I'm saying I love you.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. I think everything is an excuse to love.
Yeah.
Seriously and sincerely. That's one of the great secrets of the universe. It's an excuse.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions that the Working Out staff had that were you recently called into the podcast. That was the Gary Simons episode, and I'm really proud of that episode because Gary and I and Mabel and Joe and Peter work on the podcast. We're like, let's do an episode where it's just from a perspective of Gary moved to New York a couple of years ago to become a comic. I've been a comic here for 20-something years. What if he asks all the questions that are the burning questions, right?
I bet I could.
You happen to call me in the middle of it. We put you on speaker, and so you gave some advice. You offered the following advice. It was ask yourself when you're writing a joke, would you laugh?
Yeah.
When you're trying to figure out what's funny or not.
That's the hardest one. Would you laugh?
Would you laugh?
Sometimes I think about how much we get floated on fake laughs, socially, but also in a club. They're happy you're there. They know what you want, and they give it to you. They float you. It's like a loan.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little. We need it, but it's hard.
Can you think of a joke where it didn't pass that test for you?
Well, most of my early material.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the first couple years. I had a joke. You'll hear the Seinfeld. I was looking at an ice pack the other day, and it said on the ice pack, this is true. I don't lie in the setup. It goes, a bittering agent has been added to the contents of this ice pack to discourage consumption. I love that because apparently, before, the ice packs were too delicious. It's fine.
Yeah.
You hear the Seinfeld. You hear the Gallman.
Right.
In fact, if Gary did it, I'm not saying I wouldn't laugh, but there's a couple things going on. Is it funny?
Yeah.
And is it you?
Right. Well, no, it's funny you should say that because
you
you could be Gallman. I somehow believe that Gallman is thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I don't somehow believe you're thinking about that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And there's certain things, there's certain flailing, and like me talking about that we're in outer space and having existential crises. That's more my lane. I'm very happy to take that lane.
Judd Apatow said to me, this weekend.
What are the things I said? I just called Mike and I said, Mike, do you want to talk over pizza?
Oh my God.
Maybe Maud could come.
Oh my God.
Do you want Maud to come? Maybe Maud and I could come and we'll go down and get these mozzarella sticks.
This is a good take. I mean, it's basically you've become Sandler.
Well, because they're friends, there's just a sprinkle of Sandler.
And they were roommates starting out.
Yeah.
But so anyway, Apatow said to me at the cellar, because he was watching my sets and giving some tag ideas and stuff like that. And he goes, apropos to what we're talking about right now.
Apatow to what we're talking about?
Apropos to what we're talking about.
Apatow.
He goes, nobody could do your jokes.
That's the best compliment.
It was just a great compliment.
That's the finest. Here's the only two compliments. No one could do that but you, or I'm jealous of that bit.
I'm jealous of that bit. Those are the two compliments in comedy.
You can keep that was funny.
Yep.
I don't need that.
You're right.
I want you to say, fuck you. I wish I thought of that. But only you could do it. So you
only
get both.
You could do it.
I could have thought of it, and it wouldn't have worked. That's
Yeah.
the best. That's the best.
Yeah. On your special, you do a joke that was you and I working it out on the podcast.
Oh, facts?
The one where you're talking on the phone and you're out of breath?
Oh, yeah. The way I found out I was gaining weight during the pandemic was I played someone a video that I had shot of my wife and daughter, and I could hear myself breathing. Mm-hmm. I'm not in the video. I added a line after the special, but apparently the exertion of holding up a camera phone was a little too much for me. I'm like, and that's 100% real.
Yeah.
The shame of you're like, look at this, and it's like, I'm like, where did I shoot this? Leering in the bushes? And then I like this line too. I go, they're on level ground. How am I the only one going uphill in this footage?
I think that's what I tagged it with.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Walking uphill.
You're in the special.
The leering in the bushes line. I just want to break this apart because this is a show about jokes and material and sort of like what the purpose of a setup, a punchline, a tag, and a tag is in a typical joke structure. Setup is a thing we all agree is true. We're all on the same page. All right, that's true. The punchline is where it turns and we don't see the thing coming. The tag is where we're in the universe of the joke, and now here's some embellishments or exaggerations.
You're the pinball, and you're going ding, 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 ding. You're already in the meat of the machine.
But what's fun about tags is that the leering in the bushes is a tag in your joke structure, and it's actually the part that I laugh at. Sometimes I laugh at the setup. Sometimes the setup's enough, and I go, love that. Like it's an observation about something, and it's enough. Sometimes it's the punchline. Sometimes it is the tags. Sometimes it is the tags that make you realize you loved the joke in the first place, but you weren't fully on board.
You have opened up a vault of my passion. Is Matt McCarthy, who's hilarious. He tours with me.
Yeah.
And I'm always saying, we were just talking about this. I was like, I'm a big act out guy. I'm like, do the sound.
Yeah.
Do the sound.
So people don't know. People always say, stand up, say, an act out is where you act out what it is the joke is that you're doing so as to bring people into the universe of it. Do the sound, do the action.
It's like you're processing and you're saying a joke for the 300th time. They're hearing it for the first time, and they need those little rest stops to pull off and actually realize that they like it. And they also want to know it's safe to laugh now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss something. He's just going, "Rah! Rah!" And it's like this wonderful little pocket where they can laugh and not worry about missing the next line.
Yeah. But I think weirdly it's like, it's also a little hint of vulnerability about yourself. Sometimes the act outs reveal something about yourself. It's like I act out doing the scrambler, and we're watching a grown man act out being an amusement park ride. Yeah. And it's embarrassing.
The one that I just did is I tell a story about choking in a corn maze.
Yes.
And then I get on the outside and I have to hawk up what I'm eating like a seagull ate a bad clam. And that's all funny, but you really nailed it. It's like sometimes the tag is what makes you realize you liked it in the first place.
You liked it in the first place.
You just needed a little moment to go like, he is saying what I thought he was saying.
Yeah. I think what I love so much about this special is that you have so many setup, punchline, tags, and you have so many jokes where we're just all friends in the audience and laughing together at these completely absurd jokes.
It's just
that are a kind of nonsense.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're the right kind of nonsense.
High-end nonsense.
High-end nonsense.
You want some of that premium nonsense.
Yeah, you want some you want some expensive nonsense.
Well, I feel sharper image. I feel very strongly about this is you think you come to the show to hear the new jokes.
Yeah.
But it's an excuse to come into a space. Mm-hmm. It's way more spatial than you think.
Yeah.
And the moments that people point out to me about my special that mean a lot are these in-between moments. There's a moment where I say, somebody laughs late and I go, oh, I hear you. I see you. You're valuable.
I love
you
that.
matter.
I love that.
And I'm like, that's actually what it is. It's an invitation to come into a frequency wherein all of the jokes fit. But like, I don't think you remember. I don't think it's about remembering.
No, it's not about remembering.
I think it's about easing into a safe place. I'm not saying it's not cheeky.
No, I'm glad it's
not
about remembering because I don't remember any of your jokes.
That's what I'm saying. What you should have said was nothing.
I think I just made all of your burns of me null and void with that burn. I totally get what you mean. I can't remember any of your jokes.
It's very good. I liked it a lot. But yeah, it's a space. It's an excuse to hang out. And an audience and a performer, you can do it at them or you can do it with them.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that does this, but the ones that I like are the ones that are going like, I'm porous. I'm letting you in.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Sometimes I do a show and I let them in and I go back to the hotel and I feel like they took something from me.
Something.
I do these stories about parenting fails, basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work and I go, I literally I don't stop the show, but I go, I think this is what stand-up is for. I think this is what the art form is for. I go, I could tell you stories where I'm winning or I get the last laugh. I go, what good is that to you?
Yeah.
Project your shame onto me and laugh at it.
Oh, I love that.
That's what we're doing. We're doing shadow work.
On that episode with Gary Simons, you said, tell your secrets. I want to see comedians telling their secrets on stage. And you and I talk about this all the time.
You told me that.
Yeah, something we talk about.
If you're not telling secrets, who cares?
Who cares?
And that's right. That's kind of what I was just saying.
Do you have anything in your new hour that you're touring with right now that feels like a secret?
Yeah, for sure. It's all stuff about my parents.
Oh, interesting.
I have a line in my act right now that's hard every single time I say it.
Yeah.
And I go, it's not that I want to tell my daughter that she has it better than me.
I already like it. That's a great example of I like the setup.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at the setup.
Buddy, you and I are in the setup section of the stand-up shop. You know what I mean? Like a good... And I just go, but I do sometimes wish that like a Charles Dickens style ghost would occasionally whisk her to my childhood in the 80s.
Oh my God.
So I recently apologized to my daughter because she was choking me. She was riding my back and then she put her arms around my neck and she let go and she was choking me.
Yeah.
And I was like, baby, you got to let go. You got to let go. And then she got down and she was sad.
Yeah.
And I literally and sincerely apologized to her for not letting her choke me. I said, "You really wanted to choke, Dad. Yeah, you're having big. That's a disappointment. You liked choking Dad, and you had to stop." And I said it, and I meant it, and I was like, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm a person. You can't choke me," but I meant it.
Right.
And it's moments like that I wish a portal would open and a ghost would come in and go, "Come, child. I'll take you to a moment in Peter's childhood when his father apologized to him." And they go in, and it's just perfect darkness.
Yeah.
And my daughter goes, "But spirit, nothing is here." And I go, "That's right, because it's never fucking happened." That's all safe. That's not really a secret. The tag is, Mikey, I go, every time I've wanted my dad to apologize for hurting my feelings, I end up apologizing to him for having hurt feelings. That's a secret.
That's deep.
And then you know what the tag to the tag is? I know that's not funny. I just don't want you to feel alone.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They laugh at that. It is beautiful.
Makes me want to choke up.
Because it's fucking hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
And a person in an alpha position under lights and being celebrated and saying, it hurts out there.
Yeah.
And you know what the best thing is? Listen to how many people laughed at that, how many people clapped at that.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to go one turn further, not to fluff my own pillow here, but I'm going to go it and I'm going to say, my dad doesn't apologize to me. I'll end up saying, you're right, sir. I shouldn't have. Oh, God, I could cry.
Yeah, it's emotional.
It's hard. But what do? We're all, there was an earthquake in Ojai recently. And then the same day, Val and I went and saw a production of Shrek the Musical at the local theater. And every once in a while, there'd be an aftershock in the lights. We're all under lights.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. That's life. We're all putting on a play during an earthquake.
Yeah.
And the best thing we can do is hold hands and go, I felt that shock too.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
We're dancing in a burning house.
I was working on a joke the other night and it's a perfect example of the setup just makes me laugh, but I don't know what the joke is yet, but maybe you'll have the joke.
I can't wait.
It's just like, I feel like I spend so much of my time now with just like other dads. And I'm just thinking these people are losers. and then I just start to get self-conscious. Then I go, nah, I'm pretty cool.
That's great.
And what I can't figure out quite yet is the joke, of course, is I am that person. I am one of those losers, and I know it.
Yeah.
But I somehow can't quite convey to the audience yet that I know that they know that I know.
Yeah.
And that therein lies the challenge of the joke. But you laughed at the setup, and the audience is laughing at the setup.
Yeah.
They think it's funny.
Look at these losers.
These losers.
I think what I would tag it with is...
Maybe it doesn't need a joke. Maybe it doesn't need a punchline. Maybe just move on.
This, and then I look down and continue doing my Sudoku.
Oh, that's nice.
What I mean? Something
that's
dorking.
Nice, right. Then I finish Wordle,
and I look down and finish my bubblegum ice cream.
Yeah.
Something dumb.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need it. See, this is great. The tag is just an excuse for them to catch up and realize
that was a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason I bring up that joke is that's a secret. That's a secret thought that I have when I'm with the other dads, and I'm like, I don't want to say this. They're real people. They're gonna see this eventually. Mikey. But it's like, who cares?
First, who cares is great.
Who
cares is the first layer. The second layer is I go back to my hotel room after the show and I do jokes about my parents, and my parents are, loaded. They can really affect me.
Of course.
So it's risky.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go back to my hotel, 5 shows in a weekend. You go back to your hotel and you feel like a hollow person. Like you just left it all and you can't find yourself. And you get that voice like, what are you doing? Why are you making fun of your parents?
Yeah.
And it's not perfect, but B.B. King said, I do the shows for free. They pay me to travel.
Yes.
I do the shows for free. They pay me for the vulnerability hangover. And that is a good sign. Do you think Gerard Carmichael felt fantastic after he did Nathaniel?
No. No.
And what a fucking gift it is.
Yeah, it is a gift.
And when you do all your shows, I'm not just saying that.
I think that special is a gift.
It is. I think it's a work of art.
That's an example of someone who, and if people haven't seen Nathaniel, I don't want to, it's spoiler alert, anything
Everyone
you
knows.
read about it, he comes out of the closet in the special.
It's 20 minutes in.
Yeah. And it is a gift because he doesn't have to do that.
Nope.
It only has ramifications on his life that are complicated with his mom, people who he's close to. And that's challenging. Those are real challenges. And he gives it to the audience.
That's the risk. And that's what you're trying to model. I'm trying to model to them. I say in my act, I'm scared of my dad.
Yeah.
And then I also say some truth.
Yeah.
And hopefully, not consciously, but somewhere in there, they're going, we can be scared and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole thing.
It's funny. I had a joke. I have told the first part of this on the podcast before, but not the second, which is that in every marriage, ideally you have someone who understands heat and electricity and plumbing.
Uh-huh.
We don't have that. So we're currently seeking a third for our throuple.
That's great.
Because we need a husband.
That's very funny.
That was Rami's tag on the podcast. And now I'm doing it.
We need a husband.
It's a good example of like It's Rami Youssef coming on the pod, tagging that, me going to the cellar, trying it, and like, well, that's the best part. We need a husband. And so then the new part this week is we would even join a cult. You know, sometimes it takes a village, sometimes it takes a cult. What do we have to have sex with leader sometimes? That's fine. Sometimes I call Jen leader.
I think that's great.
I go, the hardest part about is having sex with leaders, finding time on the calendar.
It's not that I don't want to, leader.
Yeah.
But somebody has to be home when the plumber shows up.
That's nice. I like that. Yeah,
that's good. I was in the area of a contractor. It's like, so we have a third, and he says he's going to be there Sunday between 11 and 8 p.m.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know. I just worked with a contractor.
Oh, that's really nice.
It's one of the few remaining areas where you're like, it's totally fine for them to be 5 hours late. It's like it sounds like an 80s premise. And then I go out for a coffee. That's when they show up.
Yeah.
Can you open the gate? I'm like, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Can you open the gate?
Yeah.
Why are you so afraid of the world, Pete?
I had to brag. I have a gate.
I did have one burn for you on the way over that I thought of, which is, what does it feel like to have been so ahead of the podcast revolution, but still not have it catch on?
To have such a head start and to still come in 732. I watch fucking Jason Bateman lapping me. Conan is laughing all the way to the charts.
This is called the slow round. What's a song that makes you cry?
Well, nobody else will be there by the National. That's you too.
It's a gorgeous song.
I know. Time to Move On makes
Time to Move On, Tom Petty. Yeah.
Ultralight Beam by Kanye West. I know, but that song is very overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like somebody wrote it in a manic, close to God place.
Yeah. Did your life go the way you expected it to go?
Almost entirely.
For real?
Yeah. Except for my divorce. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I'm like, you had to. It's like, you know, a seed has to crack. That's what Jesus says. A seed has to crack to grow into a tree.
Does Jesus still say that?
He says it to me when I listen to Ultralight Beam. No, but Leonard Cohen says the cracks are what let the light in. So I didn't know, but there's this nasty fermentation that's necessary if you want to, you know, become what you need to be.
You have so much wisdom circulating in your head. When I was in London, I was feeling depressed because I was away from Jenny and Una. It was so hard.
These are some of my favorite moments of life.
Yeah.
And not that you're sad, but when I talk to you through some of those things, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
You know.
You sent me to the Eckhart Tolle book, The Power of Now. Yeah. Which is really, really extraordinarily helpful.
It's a play in an earthquake, and I go, read this book.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so beautiful being here with you. It's so beautiful.
Oh.
But what a gift that is, that these things exist.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I would say you wrote that book. You know what I mean? You wrote it for yourself.
Yeah.
But this whole thing is this benevolent booby trap. And you do trip, and you don't like tripping, but then you fall into yourself.
Yeah. The one that you always say that I love is the cup is already broken.
Yeah. Buddhism.
That's a Buddhism
I don't know why
quote.
more, and you know what else the Buddhists say? No self, no problem.
Oh, no self, no problem. I love that.
My big thing right now is you don't have a life. You are life.
Yeah.
And we stretch our memories like silly putty. We hold all our past in a big bag like Santa Claus's sack of toys, and we show our wares. We show our posters, and we have our memories, and we're constantly bringing up the past as if we have a life. It's just this. It's just this. And eventually it disperses. In the same way that your thoughts are made of your consciousness, the thought of an orange fades in with your eyes closed, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
But if you watch that carefully, it doesn't actually disappear. It's replaced with the spacious, neutral, self-aware field that preceded it and is after it. Why is that interesting? Because I think we're thoughts in the mind of God.
Yeah.
You don't have to say God if you don't like that, but we're just thoughts in consciousness. We appear and we seem to disappear.
You're like Jim Carrey without all the hit movies.
I'm Jim Carrey without the leisure of hundreds of millions of dollars.
You're like Jim Carrey with 1.5 hour special.
This is what I've been waiting for. I didn't like beating up on you the whole first hour. It was just me punching a dog. Nobody likes that. This is how it should be.
Oh, God. I've had this conversation recently on a podcast with Joe Firestone and Gary Gulman, which is, what is our level of friendship?
You and me?
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I think so.
Are you? I hope. I'd be heartbroken if you were like, you're a B-.
No, I would say like 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10.
We talk. We do go weeks without talking, but we talk most of the time. If I'm laughing on the phone, Val knows I'm talking to you.
Aw.
I
love that.
I have to write down. I have a list in my phone where I write down my friends.
Yeah.
You're not on that list. Here's why. I don't have to write you down. It sounded like a burn.
Yeah.
But like, there's some people that I'm just like, who do I call?
Yeah.
And I don't do that with you. I call you when I have a problem. I call you when there's something good. I call you when I need help.
Yeah.
We call each other when we need help. One way to look at it is a little bit of reparenting. It's not that we're dads to each other, but there's this very beautiful male vulnerable love that's peppered with strength. Like you'll say, I'll never forget, I'm at the Cellar. I do this Michael Jackson joke. It's never made a special. I always cut it. I've filmed it, okay, let's not exaggerate, twice. But that's 5 years apart.
Yeah. And
I always cut it. You said it was the best Michael Jackson joke you had ever heard. And then you also said, I don't like the way you get into it. And I was like, that's a friend.
Yeah. What's the joke? Do you remember?
Of course. The way I got into it was whenever I get stoned, I don't know why, but I want to see something from the 90s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you were like, that's fine. But the joke was, there was this interview with Barbara Walters. This is real.
Yeah.
And she says to Michael Jackson, Michael, how do you feel when you see the headline Wacko Jacko?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? And Michael Jackson says, 100% real. He goes, I don't like it. It's Jackson. And I get real worked up. I go, he's mad at the Jacko part. I'm like, it's wacko. Wacko is the insult. We shortened Jackson to make it rhyme with wacko.
This is so funny.
Here's the last part. I go, if the word for wacko was waxen, we would have called you Waxen Jackson. You're getting mad at the wrong part. That would be like if we called you Kid fucking Mike and you're like, it's Michael.
Okay, this joke's great. And I do think that the way you get into it's wrong.
Yeah. But you just proved I don't even need that.
You don't need it. You can go straight into it. I was watching this interview in the 90s with blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You just go straight into it. I just put it in a group of jokes about the theme of people get hung up on the wrong things.
Yeah. Like Family
I saw an
Guy.
interview with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Barbara Walters goes, What do you think of this Wacko Jacko? And he goes,
really?
My name's not Jacko, it's Jackson. It's like,
Yeah.
You're missing the point, my friend. And then you go straight into your joke, which is much better than what I'm saying. But like, I feel like you could come up with 4 or 5 of those where people are really missing it.
Yeah. That's good. You cluster it. It's like you can't sell 4 avocados at Whole Foods unless you put them in a bag.
Yeah. Is there any other?
I have lots of jokes. Selfishly, I was in Mexico and I got bit by a scorpion in my bed.
Oh, gosh.
Here's the first dumb joke. I don't like this one, but I go, which was confusing because I did ask for a wake-up call. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. This was our favorite part of the story in the retelling. It was like early in the morning. It was still dark.
Okay.
I feel something.
Oh, gosh.
It didn't really hurt. It felt
Yeah.
like sandpaper was on my skin, so I'm like rolling around. I lift the sheets up. There's a dead little translucent yellowish scorpion dead.
Oh, gosh.
I know. But I get out of the bed, and I'm like, it bit me 3 or 4 times. And I thought, this isn't writing. This is what I thought. I can't trust myself to be around anymore. So I have to wake up Val. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be here. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like collapse or go into shock. So I woke up Val.
Yeah.
And she laughed because I was like, Val, not panic, but deep.
Yeah.
Valerie. And she was like, oh. I was like, I've been bitten by a scorpion. And then Val's so sweet. She gets on the phone. She calls the front desk. And she's like, hi, yeah, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. One of us has been bitten by a scorpion. Yeah, the doctor. Yeah, that would be great if you could send a doctor. I go out on the balcony. I elevate my foot.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm like sending the venom towards me. I don't know what to do.
Yes.
I'm actually surprisingly calm. So the doctor comes. Val's like, how often does this happen? And he goes, not much. He goes, once or twice a month.
Yeah.
You're saying every 2 weeks a guest is attacked by a scorpion?
Yeah.
He has it. He goes, I go, this is all real. I go, how long before we know if I'm allergic? Like before I start having a reaction? He goes, no allergy. It's in Mexico, so there's a language factor. He goes, no allergy. 24 hours, you'll be dead.
See, that's great. That's where I'm in.
Okay. So he goes, don't worry, I have an anti-venom. I was helping him with his English. He was going, venom. I'm like, venomous?
Yeah.
Venomous?
Yeah.
See, venomous. And I'm like, why is this fucking Duolingo right now? I might be dying. And he has the anti-venom in the shot.
Okay.
And he keeps gesturing.
Holy cow. So it's serious.
You
needed an anti-venom shot?
On stage, I wouldn't say this, but I didn't get the feeling it was serious. Nobody seemed that worried.
Okay.
They were speaking very calmly in Spanish.
Right.
Like, pequeño. Like that sort of thing.
Right.
But he has the anti-venom, and this is real. He keeps gesturing with it, with the shot hand, over the balcony. He's got the cure, and he's like, oh, no, hay mucho problema. And he's kind of like, and I'm like, could you bring that? Like, if you drop that, big problem. Let me see what else I got.
No, that's great though. Wait, are you done with that story?
Let me see.
Because I think that's really strong. I actually think that the key thing with that story is figuring out what it means to you. Like, what are your actual emotions? Well, I feel like you're kind of flippantly saying like, well, I guess I might be dead in 2 minutes, but it's like, what does it actually feel like?
I have a couple thoughts.
And maybe the act out of that.
For sure. I think that's gold. That's great. That's gold, Jerry. It was kind of disappointing, and that's true. I wanted an experience. I wanted to trip. I wanted to be okay, you and Ringo Starr are going to help me. Okay,
right, you wanted it to have some kind of twist, some psychiatric twist.
And then I knew this is real.
Yeah.
I knew my phone was listening to all of this because after they left, my phone showed me ads for Mortal Kombat. That's not a joke.
Well, I don't even get it.
If you were hip, you would. There's a character in Mortal Kombat named Scorpion.
Oh, I like that.
So in my feed was an ad, and it was the fighter Scorpion. The cheesy way to do it. Would you have gotten this? I'm a kid from the 90s, so I'm afraid that if this is how I die, the last thing I'm going to think is Scorpion wins.
So that's funny. That part's funny to me, and I also think
wait. Fatality. There you go.
So I think
you like that better. Well,
hold on. I actually think this is kind of a step out discussion point about jokes in general, which is like
JIG.
Well, I just think JIG. Where it's like you got to account for sometimes people don't know what the reference you're saying is.
Yeah.
And so you might as well overcompensate
and say Scorpion wins.
Well, yeah, or say Mortal Kombat joke, and then go, and just so you know, there's a character named Scorpion. If you don't know Mortal Kombat, and then do the Scorpion wins joke because I'm laughing at Scorpion wins, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it because you just explained to me what it is. Like, there's so many jokes where it's like all you have to do is actually explain to people what it is, and then they'll go with you for the joke.
So both. I got ads for Mortal Kombat. I'm a 90s kid.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'll remember the beats. I got a good mind for that.
We're recording this,
I'm not going to listen.
We're filming and recording.
100% JK. Yeah, no, okay. That feels like I have a bit. Can I do this other one that I want to
of course.
run by?
Yeah, I have more jokes too.
This one I think it'll relate to because we also have one child. And this is delicate because it would kill me if I thought that Leela would hear this joke and think that because she's like a lot that we decided to not have another kid. But it was more, this is just the truth. When we had one, we were like, this feels right. I'm not saying we might not have, we might have another one at some point if that happens. But so now I'm speaking to that child in case they see this. See, it's a tricky subject. But we're a one-child family, and the triangle is the strongest shape found in nature. And when it's tough with Leela, my wife and I always joke, like, what if there was another one?
Yeah.
Right? So, and we talk about getting a vasectomy. And then I go on the road and I'm away from my family for a couple days. And I'm like, I can't. I love Leela so much. It's life. It's beautiful. Then I come home for 4 hours and I'm like, I have a butter knife. I'm going to do it to myself. That's kind of dark. But this is the part that I feel more sure about. Why do men resist? I think it's because...
The vasectomy.
Why do men resist a vasectomy? I think it's because, this is in my own mind, we think there is a chance it might come down to just you and one woman and everyone's dead and it's up to you to repopulate the planet. So it's going to be me and Scarlett Johansson, and that's egg on my face.
Oh, God.
That I'm like, whoops-a-doodle. It's tricky saying Scarlett because that's a real person, but like the most beautiful woman in the world.
I almost would go to the heart of the
issue.
The issue, which is we're going to have one because we're so tired.
You think that's the thing?
Yeah, to me, that's like the funny confession of it. It's sort of like dig into that. Like
you're like a therapist. I find it significant that you said it was difficult. Yeah.
Well, because I think that therein you go back to what's the confession, what's the truth, what's your secret, and it's like that's the pain that the audience members are feeling of like, oh my God, you don't know the half of it. We have 3 kids.
Right.
It's exhausting.
Well, we know those families that have 5 kids and they look like zombies. And I'm like, what were you doing?
Can I run another joke, which is, I thought you'd think this is funny, which is because you and I think, have similar thoughts about
How did I
dads.
not do a show called Thank God for Jokes? Like, how did you scoop me?
What? Well, I've had this joke lately where, like, when I was a kid, like, my dad would feel underappreciated.
Oh, you've told me this one.
And then he would go like, just send the check. Like that's all we want from him is money. The check. Just send the check. Just send the check. And I remember thinking like, Dad's crazy.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, he had a good point about the check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just send the check. Yeah, no, what you're right on the money. I think I said this to you last time. Men are absurd. We set it up. Our egos are so fragile. I'm not just saying this.
Yeah.
They're so fragile that we want to be the breadwinners, some of us. But I'll say I do.
Yeah.
I want to pay for the dinner. I want to do
yeah.
I'll get the house. And then we resent them
I'll get the
house. Then we end up resenting people for doing what we said we wanted to do. Then we're like, now I got to buy the house. It's like,
God, that's so funny.
You said you wanted to buy the house.
Then we become Bill Burr. Now I got to get the house.
Yeah.
Now I got to get the house.
Why I got to get the house? Nah, it's a nice house. Oh, you like the house?
Oh, you like the house?
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, my God.
No, but I think so what I'm saying is leaning into the pain and the loneliness of like, what did I do?
Yeah.
You inherited a thought system of masculinity that you bought into because sometimes it makes you feel like a big shot. And then you realize you're the president.
Yeah.
And you want to eat a sandwich, but they need you in the Situation Room. And it's like, you ran for president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that that's at the heart of kind of what my next hour I'm trying to understand. Like the fundamental thing of Please Stop the Ride, which is my next door, is about how I look at my daughter and all of her experiences. And I think, oh, when I was her age, I looked at my own parents and I thought, oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And now I'm 45 and I'm that person. I'm like, oh, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to expound on that.
Yeah. I think it's funny that we give it such a hard time that kids have to learn that Santa Claus isn't real. It's like,
yes.
None of it was real.
Oh my God.
In fact, when I go to
That's a good point. And that's a good joke. None of it was real.
That's yours. That's in this.
I'll take that.
But it's your observation. It's just the image it gave me. Because when I go to Disneyland with Leela, I do the impression of an Indiana Jones style dad because it's comforting to her. There's a certain type of masculinity.
Yes.
Women have this as well.
Yes.
That's comforting. I go, we're going to go on Pirates. We're going to go on whatever.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get lunch. Then we're going to leave.
Yeah.
And that's fucking dad. Fucking knife.
Yeah.
It's great. You know what I mean? Clean.
Yeah.
And I do that because if you go, what do you want to do? She'll have a panic attack. I go on my shoulders. Dad's driving.
Right.
Sleep in the back seat. I got you. The truth is, I'm doing my best, but I'm being Santa Claus. I'm assuming an avatar of dad.
Yeah.
So dad doesn't exist. Santa Claus doesn't exist. You go deep enough, none of it exists, Mikey.
Right. Jim Carrey, ladies and gentlemen. Without the movies.
Hey, I've been in some pieces of shit. I was in Don't Think Twice.
Barely speaking role.
Yeah.
Gets
a laugh. Gets a laugh.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
We you play in Don't Think Twice. You play Pete Holmes coming out of an SNL audition, and you're doing a Ray Romano impersonation. And I heard a story where Phil Rosenthal showed the movie Don't Think Twice and at his house, and Ray Romano was there, and that part came up, and Ray goes, "Oh, come on."
It's great. Well, you know, when I shot the sketch Romano duets where I'm singing with him,
yeah,
we were rolling on my part, so I had my hair blacked out. I'm wearing the open flannel shirt, just like him. I'm like, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. And he walks in while I'm shooting. It's in a big soundstage. It's dark. And I just hear him go, my poor wife.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
If that's what I sound like, my poor wife.
That's what it's funny you should say that, my poor wife.
My poor wife.
That's part of what I've been trying to zero in on in my new hour is like, what is the other people in my lives perception of me? Like what hell it is to have to be married to me and have me as your dad. What a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like in my next hour, if I can key in on that in a way that makes people laugh. Like I had one recently where I was like, sometimes Jenny will point out that like I'm narrating our marriage, but like we don't really need that.
Can we turn the DVD commentary off?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so I'll be like washing the dishes. I'll be like, so I'm washing the dishes. I'm going to grab some ice cream for your parents coming over later. Then I'm going to get the hair out of the drain from the thing. And she'll be like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's when Mike realized he had to pick up his parents. He got the clog out of the drain.
So we finished with Working It Out for a Cause. Is there a nonprofit that you think does a great job? And we'll contribute to them and link to them in the show notes.
Oh, yeah. Homeboy Industries.
What's Homeboy Industries?
My man, my dear friend. Father Greg Boyle runs the world's largest gang rehabilitation center in Los Angeles. But I believe it's nationwide. They have other ones. And they get people with criminal records, job training.
That is a phenomenal idea, and it's homeboyindustries.org. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I will contribute to them. I'll link to them in the show notes, and that's fantastic.
Like free therapy, anger management, counseling. They give them jobs. They also have free tattoo removal, free. Like the best tattoo people in the world donate their time. So it's an incredible place.
Homeboy Industries. Pete Holmes, I love you. I love your special.
Thanks, man.
I will keep recommending it.
Please, can I just say this?
Yeah.
You want to talk about honesty? Netflix either buys a special or they lease it.
Okay.
Mine is leased. So if people don't watch it, it's going to be gone.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, please spare me the humiliation.
So much inside info.
It's so inside and it's just so raw. I'm like, it gets 1 year. And if it drops off, it's because we didn't promote it and people didn't find it or whatever. But I'm like I'm shouting it from the rooftops. But it's not a zero-sum game. It's like if we don't get people to watch what is my favorite special that I work the hardest on and I like the most, it will drop.
I'm gonna cut you off there. Pete Holmes, everybody, check it out. It's on Netflix. We're on local radio.
My producer is saying we have to go.
I'm sorry, Pete. We're gonna cut you out there.
It's raining in Santa Fe. We have to. There's breaking news.
I'm sorry. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna throw to traffic. Billy Bean on traffic.
I was on a flight I think it was to Hawaii, and it was like 10 hours. And the guy sitting in front of me every 5 minutes wrapped both his hands around the back of the seat.
Okay.
And he was blocking my screen.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like... And I'm not like a confrontational person, especially I have no idea what's on the other side. And he kept doing it, and then I was like, oh, I said, well, at least I can get a picture of this for Instagram. Because he's like literally these fingers over the screen. And I said, I'll come up with a caption like blocking my view of 500 Days of Summer. And it kept happening. The flight eventually lands, the doors open, paramedics rush on and start treating this guy. He'd been in some sort of agony the whole time. And then I ended by saying, but there's a happy ending. I didn't.
35 years.
Yeah, it's going to be 36 pretty soon.
Unbelievable.
I know, it's crazy.
And Gaffigan and I talked about this on this podcast. It's like, because he's another one, 30, 35 years. Like, long, like, to last in entertainment or in art, in any sphere, 3-4 decades is absurd. It's an astonishing thing. And what do you think is, because a lot of creatives listen to the podcast, like, what do you think the key to longevity is?
I think hanging in there, obviously it never got too big. I'm fine. I get recognized in trains and stuff, but I think just hanging in there and just like finding people who like you, and like if there's a club doesn't use you, find the club that does use you.
Right.
And I think I'm not the most prolific comic, but I do try to write as fast as I can. And, but yeah, I think hanging in there. And also I think I didn't, I always felt like I had like I'm about to break for like 30 years. I think I'm about to break big. I'm going to go wide. And it never really happened on a massive level. But so I guess hanging in there. You opened for me. Remember that?
San Francisco? Yeah. No, I have not only do I remember it, but it's one of the most marked things in my brain, because I asked you what you thought of a joke, and you were like, it's a little bit, it was a new joke at the time, and you were like, it's a little hacky. And
Did I say that? Oh my God.
But even to this day, I'm like, is it? It was just like, it was a joke that was on my first album, which is like, I don't have a weight problem, but I am the guy who could really put the brakes on an orgy. Everyone would be like, was he invited? Why is he eating a pizza?
I don't know why I would say that. It's hacky.
You were like, it's a little hacky. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, but I've always been self-conscious about that as an idea.
But I mean, as weird as it sounded, it's probably a compliment that I felt comfortable enough and cared enough to say that it was hacky.
I think that's a good point. I
felt comfortable enough to be brutally mean and unnecessarily tactless. Wow, I don't remember saying that.
But you've always been, I mean, it wasn't malicious, and it was extraordinarily, like, you've always been super supportive of me, even though when I moved to New York, a lot of people, including Bill Burr, accused me of sounding like you.
Yeah, I saw the clip of the video where
I did too.
Where he said, what did he say? I went to see Mike Birbiglia in this one-man show called A Night with Todd Barry.
That's right. Like that. An evening with Todd Barry.
I never saw that. I mean, I never felt like, oh, Mike's doing me, man. I've never felt that. But I'd heard about it.
I did too. People came up to me when I first moved to New York and were like, hey, you're doing Todd Barry. I go, I don't think so. I mean, I love Todd, but I don't think, if anything, when I listen back to my old stuff, I'm like, I got some Hedberg in there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do Brian Regan.
Yes.
You hear a lot of like, the kind of inflection. That wasn't really a good Brian Regan impression, but yeah, his inflection.
Yeah. But your vocal tone is like, how did you find it? It's because it's so one of a kind.
I mean, I honestly kind of hate the way when I listen to like my first album, which I don't really listen to my first album. It's not like I'm gonna put my first album on and kick back a glass of juice and listen to my first. But when I've heard clips of it for whatever reason, it's like I go, God, do I really? Because I had this whole different way of talking on stage, which I think I've have a more natural way of talking now. God, I hope so. But I think when I got locked into jokes, I would do this kind of inflection and this cadence. But it was never something, only until some people started doing impressions of me to my face.
Yeah.
Did I think, oh shit, is there something going on with the way I talk?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I've never like said, here's the way I'm going to talk on stage. But
Yeah. You invented crowd work.
I invented crowd work and
then what happened?
Also music. So if we can get anything for the record.
I invented storytelling.
You invented storytelling. I forgot that. Yeah, that's true, you did. I didn't invent that one. I was the second person to do storytelling. But
clearly, like you were way ahead of the crowd work curve. You have a special in 2014. That's all crowd work, and it's hilarious. And now it is like the thing of social media.
I mean, I guess we could talk about that, but
you don't want to talk about it?
I do. No, we should talk about it. I just don't want to slag anyone, but I guess I could slag a concept and not individual.
Yeah, I don't.
Even though, like, even now I'm on this half crowd work, half joke story.
Yeah.
I still I feel like I see comics doing crowd work. Like if I do a bar show and some younger comic starts just going, I start crying. I mean, I don't literally start crying, but I just feel like, because you're sitting there, like, they're talking, they tell a joke, and they think they have to stop and go, hey, what about you? Hey, what about you? What about this couple? And it's like, you're wasting your time on stage, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're exceptionally good at it and you love, or if you just like doing it, you should do it. But I feel like there's people who think they have to do it, and that's when I think is a problem.
My estimation of why it works so well when you do it is that you're not doing the standard questions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I start with like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do?
But I try to take it in a different direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you're having like a real conversation with the audience.
Yeah, I try to be curious and
yeah.
And I also, like, if someone's not into it, I back off. I mean, that happened to me the other night in some city where she's like, I'd rather not do this. Like, let's not do this, though. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
I respect you, but you are sitting in the front row at a crowd work show.
Your persona on stage is more hyper confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like in real life, I know you on and off stage, like, you're not a wildly confident bravado person.
No, I'm kind of I'm all talk was what they say. I think that's what you're trying to say. I'm all talk. I don't walk the walk. I mean, I think there's times when I'm sure you've had it too, where you get mad on stage and you're like, I just said something to a kind of a big guy that I would not normally. Fuck did I? What am I? You know, you're just kind of like getting visibly angry, or maybe actually attack them on some level. But yeah, there is that. I mean, I think you kind of need it to go up there and do something as ridiculous as what we do. You know,
like an absurd amount of confidence,
or at least fake it. Yeah.
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 What are you off stage? What are you most confident about and least confident about?
Ooh, wow! Now we're getting deep. I'm confident that I'm pretty funny. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, and then least confident. Oh shit! I mean, there's certain. I can be socially awkward, I think.
Yeah.
Like right now. This is what. Second part of your question answer is this. It's the hemming and hawing.
I feel like one of the things you're known for, and it's the reason why I think when I moved to New York, people are like, "Hey, you sound like Top Area." Is your voice is so specific.
Yeah.
And like when you were starting out, who were you inspired by? Did you go like see everybody?
I would go see a lot of people, and I would go to open mic nights and kind of watch. But it's weird. It never occurred to me until at some point when it really occurred to me that I wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Like I was always being funny. Like even when I was in bands, they would have to, take the mic between songs and banter. But I never said I want to be a stand-up comic. And then I watched this open mic night, I guess a few times. And it's just in Florida back then in the late 80s, you could just call up. They have, hey, I want to do your Sunday open mic night. And they go, yeah, we got a slot, and then boom, you're a comedian. I mean, you're an open micer at least. And they would also do the show during the regular, like one day of the week when the headliner was there also. So it'd be part of the headlining show, the open mic night. So,
see, that's a very different thing than today, because like I feel like people ask me this a lot, and I'm sure they ask you a lot, like young comics, like, what do I do? There's only, there's 100 people at the open mic, you know what I mean? And 7 slots or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, what would you do if you were coming up now?
I don't know, because I mean, I guess I've maybe done a handful of New York open mics where you're like, oh, I'm performing for 12 people who are waiting to perform.
Right.
And like one weird local loner guy.
Right.
But, so, and that could go either way, because either you get the, like the comic supportive laugh, or you get iced out.
Yes.
Because they're just jealous, or not jealous, or just they don't want to be supportive, or they're just like the way I would probably be, which is not laughing a lot.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know how people rise above that. I mean,
it's a tricky one. I don't know.
But I mean, I guess there's enough bar shows which aren't really like open mics.
What's interesting is you still do bar shows. Like you.
I mean, yeah, lately, especially because I was trying to get some more material for this tour, and it's like there's places like I could walk to, go on, and maybe they're not electric.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there.
Right.
And because I feel like Gaffigan's like that too. I don't know if he's still like that.
No, I think he is.
Or yeah, I'll go on.
Yeah.
With 6 people, yeah, let's do this, you know.
I think I have that in common with you, which is like, yeah, it doesn't really matter what the conditions are.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly like doing the Bell House when it's packed is amazing. Yeah. And doing a bar show maybe on somewhere in Brooklyn or Lower East Side or something might not be amazing, but if something comes out, you fix something, fix a line or two.
Do you listen back? Do you record on your phone and listen back?
If you want to sit here for 30 hours, we can listen to the ones that I haven't listened to yet. But I mean, it's funny though, because when I first started, I used to drive to West Palm from my Broward County home. It's one of the 3 clubs that I worked at to do open mics. And I would, you record it on a cassette tape, and I couldn't wait to listen to the cassette in the car. Like now, they couldn't imagine wanting to listen to a tape of my set. Like, yeah. And it's kind of sad in a way, because you're just so excited that you got laughs. Yeah. But now it's like, yeah, I've gotten plenty of laughs.
Yeah. What's a town that you feel like people don't realize is a great town?
I feel like, I went to my first trip to Dayton, Ohio. I don't know if people have an opinion about Dayton, but I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
I think Dayton's fantastic.
And Pittsburgh, I think, used to. I mean,
Pittsburgh's great.
Yeah, it used to be sort of a punchline for people. Like, oh, Pittsburgh, and then I went to Pittsburgh. Like, this place is beautiful.
No, it's great. Yeah.
What about you?
Those are 2 that I really like. I always say I love Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, Iowa City.
Yeah, Iowa City's great.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think the thing that I feel like I've experienced from touring the country is like, there's great folks everywhere.
Absolutely. These, people just think like it's the only thing that counts is New York, San Francisco, Chicago. And it's like, that's really limited. And it's also inaccurate. And as you said, there's great people everywhere. So you could be super far left. And also, I don't do political stuff. So I conceivably make right-wingers laugh also. Yeah. With my my cat jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's nice people everywhere. And you get a crowd of people who like what you do, and they're like, oh yeah, we're here and we're supportive. And
you by the way got softened by your cat.
I did. I used to have such an edge to me, man.
You named your cat after me.
I did. It's Mike Birbiglia. My cat's name is Mike, literally named after your first and last name.
Now, how do you pronounce it? Is it different than it's spelled?
Michaeline? Michaeline, yeah.
Michaeline. Where'd the name come from?
It's what she had at the ASPCA, and I just remember seeing her and with that little, little kitten with that little tag, and I was like, I didn't want to change her name, and I was like, that's kind of a pretty name. I never heard it before. Yeah, and I didn't want to name her like Dr. Bubbles or something, or I hope that's not your cat's name.
Mr. Mustache. One of my cats is Mr. Mustache.
Seriously? Yes. Oh shit. Oh well.
Precious and Mr. Mustache.
I guess you're gonna turn the recorder off now. Things were going well until you insulted my cat.
Mr. Bubbles. This is a thing we do called the slow round. Is there a time that you remember running away, physically running away from something?
Lightning makes me run. Lightning, yeah, from the sky.
So you've seen lightning and jogged away.
And run, yeah. I've run when I'm with people. I'll be like, gotta go. And they, friends of mine know that I have that, so they're usually pretty supportive. But
so you saw lightning. You're with people.
Yeah.
They all see it. You jog away.
Yeah.
To indoors?
Yeah. Yeah, I grab a piece of metal and I stand on the street. Yeah, indoors.
Is there a song that makes you cry?
Oh, yeah. There's we were talking about REM earlier, and there's a song called Good Advices on their Fables of the Reconstruction album that fucking messes me up. And,
interesting.
But there's a number of songs and also Wendell G on that album.
Interesting.
That can, back to back, that sometimes if I don't know, those can make me cry.
What do you think? I have a bunch of REM songs that make me cry too. What do you think gets you about those two songs?
Well, it's kind of, like I don't even know what the songs are about.
Right.
Like couldn't even tell you. Maybe I might even tell you the words to them. I have no idea what they're about, but I guess it's just the chords and the melody, and it just fucking crushes me sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a song by Magnetic Field, Save a Secret for the Moon.
Yeah.
That'll mess me up a little bit.
Wow.
I mean, I've never cried, Mike. I was testing you. I've never cried.
This is like my very own crowd work right here.
Who cries?
I've never cried.
Real men don't
No,
cry.
I've never cried either. I'm only asking for someone
You cry
else.
on planes ever?
Gosh, yeah, I have. I'm more susceptible to crying on air, watching movies on planes.
People, I mean, you ever cry at a commercial?
Yeah.
I did once, man. I couldn't believe how it just like, because I've always heard, this Ford commercial made me cry. Like, well, fucking, it's 20 seconds. Calm down.
Yeah.
And then this commercial, I don't remember what it was for, but it was just this guy who was clearly dying, dancing with his partner.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It crushed me.
Oh. You were in Hedberg's movie.
I was, yeah.
Which is like almost like a fabled story at this point, the existence of that movie.
Right, because it still hasn't come out.
Hasn't come out.
No.
It's called Los Enchiladas.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's based on him working at a restaurant, I think, for a bunch of years as a cook, and then he made this movie, and you're in it, like, I want to say Attell's in it, like a bunch of notable comedians are in it. Did you like Mitch directing you?
Yeah, it was fine. I do remember about that. I had this kind of funny feeling because I did it. I flew to Minneapolis the day after I did Letterman.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember having my first meal there in Minneapolis at some sort of not great restaurant. I'm eating chicken fingers. I'm like, I was fucking on Letterman last night. You're sitting there alone. And you're like, I was literally a guest on the Late Show with David Letterman, a very popular show. I was a guest on. I did jokes that I wrote. You're like eating your chicken fingers like alone.
I think that is like stand-up comedy in a nutshell as a career.
Yeah. There's a great scene. Did you see that Radiohead documentary?
No.
There's one. I forgot what it's called. Something with people in it. But there's a great scene in there, which is really a good sort of show business nutshell, where they come off stage and there's, this crowd's going apeshit, but they're in an argument about something. Oh. So they're sitting there and they're arguing while this crowd is going apeshit. Oh my
gosh, yes, that's
great.
It's
like it's not even enough to smooth things over.
That's so profound.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of like, I mean, not that. I'm not saying show business isn't fun, but it's not. There's a romanticized version of it that.
Well, yeah, certainly you don't. When you see the comedian on Letterman show, or now, the Tonight Show or Kimmel, you don't imagine that the next day they're in CVG Airport in Ohio. And they're like, struggling with their bags and one of the wheels is broken.
Yeah, but doing those shows is kind of like, there is like this, you build it up so much and then you kind of, in 4.5 minutes it's over, and then you're kind of like, all right, I guess something.
What was the thing that you've done in your career where you're like, I cannot believe I'm doing this right now?
I mean, I guess The Wrestler, doing The Wrestler.
With Darren Aronofsky, yeah.
That was pretty surreal because going to the Venice Film Festival.
Yes.
was, on my own dime, was
on my own dime. That's a hilarious joke from your special.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, I just agreed with your compliment. I thought you were saying it's a joke from my special. I missed hilarious, and now I'm just saying, yeah, that was hilarious, Mike. That's why I put it on the special.
That's why you're here today, for me to say back your jokes to you, say they're hilarious, but and you agree.
But that was a surreal experience where it was like, yeah, going in a motorcade to watch a movie you were in.
And that movie, The Wrestler, had a lot of hype in the sense of like it was not only a Darren Aronofsky movie, but it was like the comeback of Mickey.
Right.
Where it's like he hadn't done stuff in a long time. And,
yeah.
And so it was a kind of a triumph.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to be in it.
What's the reverse of that? What's the time where you thought like, this is just not worth it?
Oh, I mean, just times I've bombed on, bombing, just like I bombed on TV twice.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah, I would say. Well, one was a Conan, my second Conan, which had big pockets of silence in it. I had just
big pockets of silence.
I had just run the set like the night before a few times, and it was killed. And then it was like, oh, and I was like, I do feel like I'm surprised I came across unscathed, because I guess they just knew enough that, yeah, it just didn't work tonight, that they didn't like ban me from the show, and I ended up keep doing the show.
I feel like I had that with I did Kimmel once, and it was like that, where I came off and you don't know who to trust. You go like, did that go okay? And everyone's like, that went great. And I'm like, I don't think it went great.
I did a show, it's like live at the Comedy Store in London, and they got us there early to do a sound check. Did the sound check. Then I'm going on like 12th, and they've been there for hours.
Yeah.
And the MC, who I don't think he meant any harm by this at all, but he was just like, our next act is you're gonna notice that he's from a different place when he starts talking, or something like that. And it's like, maybe don't say that. Don't lay that as ground.
Say that.
Maybe that's the ground. So I go up there, and then of course now they're just like listening for the. And I was fucking,
like, that's your hook.
Realized I was bombing, and I was like, I'm gonna just play to the camera. I told him I'm gonna play to the camera and act like I'm killing.
Yeah.
And I finished the set, and I was like, just like act like I was killing. But then all these comics came up to me after, like, that's gonna cut well. They're gonna edit that. When they edit that, it's gonna be fine. It's kind of nice to have the sport, but I mean, that's also like every one of them has been there on some level. So, but it was also a thing where people couldn't. Then someone said, we couldn't hear you. It's like, I did a sound check. I mean, it's not there. Sound was probably bad. I mean, but just like, how often do you do a sound check for a TV show? And then, yeah.
Like, do you feel like you're still learning as a comedian?
Yeah, I mean, I do like to occasionally go see a stand-up. Like, it's usually, I mean, the one who I've seen the most in New York is Doug Stanhope when he comes down, where I'll just go sit in the audience. I don't really watch a lot of stand-ups when I'm in a club with them. I guess if I'm just kind of waiting to go on, I do, but I don't sit down. So, I mean, I often like to just watch someone and go, oh, that's what I do. That's kind of cool. Just like in general, that's what I do. Or just seeing what they can get away with, or they're talking about this pretty dark subject.
Yeah.
And they're pulling it off. But I
have that. The two people I try to see when they're in town are Maria Bamford and Doug Stanhope.
She's
the two of them.
She's from another planet. Good, man.
Yeah, Doug is amazing because, I mean, both of them are amazing because they're fearless.
Yeah.
And Doug is amazing, I think, because he's 100% willing to lose the audience. Like watching Stanhope, watching Bamford, there are a few people who you watch and you go like, oh yeah, I could learn from that.
Yeah, or sometimes it's just like, not to be faux humble, but you just like, oh, man, I ain't doing that. I wish I was, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's next level shit. And it is inspiring in a way, like, it's like, why don't I try to do that?
Right.
Well, not that I'm going to do like Maria Bamford's style act, but
right.
But her level of like just quality and interestingness.
What was your first job?
Job,
yeah.
That was at a country club in Tamarack, Florida. This was a job of kind of maintaining the clay tennis courts. Like you'd drag them, you would get a golf cart with a brush behind it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drive and smooth them out. Like, and I do it like 6 a.m. and then like 4 in the afternoon or something. And I remember it paid $3.50 an hour, which was like well above minimum wage.
Oh, wow.
This is a long time ago.
Wow.
So I think that was my first job. And then I worked at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Did you work at McDonald's?
I never worked at McDonald's.
Really?
I worked at Super Stop and Shop as a bagger.
All right. Yeah. I worked at Albertsons.
As a bagger?
Yeah. I think it's the only place I got fired from.
Did you get fired? What'd you get fired for?
It wasn't nothing like I did something. I think I had to go on vacation, or I had to go away, and when I came back, I didn't have a job. So I guess that's fired. But
did you ever get? I've never talked to anybody as a comic who's been fired. Have you been fired off a week?
I was about to bring that up when you started that question. I go, I wonder if he's about to ask this. I was opening for Paul Mooney at Caroline's,
oh, wow.
and it wasn't like I wasn't being hated, but I certainly wasn't being loved.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, this crowd's turning on me, but it was clearly I wasn't there. I wasn't what they wanted before.
Yeah.
And I just remember the booker. Remember Jocelyn?
Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of just came up to me. And I was like, yeah, I know. Kind of just.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
Todd, I think, yeah. Like, I don't even think she had to say this isn't working out. I wasn't like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, let's.
Oh my God.
So I guess in that sense I was fired.
Did they pay you out?
I don't remember. I know that I'm always pretty diligent about making sure I get paid out. But they probably did.
The crazy thing that you and I probably have in common, because we worked Caroline's a lot in that era, was prom shows. You probably did prom shows.
God,
I did prom shows. That
was a milestone for me when I said no more prom shows.
I'm going to give context to the listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the thing that I don't even think people can comprehend.
Yeah.
Which is, at comedy clubs in New York City, there was a period of time, and maybe that period of time still exists, where the grown-ups were trying to come up with something for their high school prom kids to go do that, and didn't involve drinking. Perfect idea.
Yeah.
Comedy nightclub. And so you and I both would be booked on these shows where we're essentially performing for 16-year-olds who like don't want to be there.
And also you would go on at like 3:00 in the morning or something.
Literally your spot time, you get an email that said 3 a.m.
Right.
Or even later. Sometimes the spot time would say spot 3:30 a.m., 3:45 a.m.
And you're like, it is, it's kind of like there are those times where you're like, wow, where you just go, I got to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And then I do remember like just doing one in particular where they're just like, I'm getting, they're yelling shit. It's like, I'm getting yelled at by a 17-year-old who took a limo here and like for $75. I mean, actually that sounds pretty good. So you want bits that you can help me with? Or
yeah, theoretically, yeah.
All right, well, one I've been doing that I've been kind of pulling off is a true story about I was on a flight, I think it was to Hawaii, and it was like 10 hours, and the guy sitting in front of me every 5 minutes wrapped both his hands around the back of the seat.
Okay.
And he was blocking my screen.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like... And I'm not like a confrontational person, especially when I have no idea what's on the other side. And he kept doing it, and then I was like, I said, well, at least I can get a picture of this for Instagram. He's like literally these fingers over the screen. And I said, I'll come up with a caption like blocking my view of 500 Days of Summer. And it kept happening. The flight eventually lands. The doors open. Paramedics rush on and start treating this guy. He'd been in some sort of agony the whole time. And then I ended by saying, but there's a happy ending. I didn't post the picture.
Oh my God.
But it was.
That's a twisty one.
Yeah.
That's a great bit. I mean, have you done it on stage?
Yeah, I've done it. And I've gotten it closer because at first it was hard to sort of explain what the guy's doing. But then I just said, he wrapped his hands around the back of the seat.
Right, you do the physicality.
And then I said he blocked my screen. Because just saying, I didn't know that they would understand that block my screen. I would always be like, at the beginning, I was like, there's a TV on the seat, and then it gets all clunky.
Right.
I just blocked my screen, and they always figured out. I guess they know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, so there's that one.
That's a great bit. I feel like it's like the reason why I like all your joke writing. It's like, it's such an economical picture.
Yeah.
Like we get the whole story.
Yeah.
Essentially of like 5 hours condensed into like 4 sentences.
Yeah.
And it has so many turns to it.
Yeah. I was pretty happy that I was able to pull that one off, and because I thought this one's going to be too rough to make clear, and I sort of figured it out on some level. I guess it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Unless you got anything for me.
No, I mean, I guess the question is like, if it's like what we were talking about earlier, like storytelling versus like short jokes. Is like, you could extrapolate the whole thing out and have it be longer and go through your thought process through the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because it is a full long story. But as it is, it's so strong.
It's interesting that audiences, I found, I haven't done it a ton of times, they'll either be like, once I say that paramedics are out, they'll be like, oh.
Right.
Or they'll start laughing. And I don't know which is better for my punchline, but
right.
It's kind of cool when they are upset, and then I go, no, this is a happy ending. I didn't post the picture.
Right.
There's that one. You want more?
I love that. Yeah, hit me with more, and then I'll throw some in mine.
Was one, I guess it's sort of working, where I went to join a gym, and I was taking a tour of a gym, and the guy, those people are always Weasley salespeople, and he's like, oh, we have 12 different locations. Every location has a pool except this one. And I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? Yeah, every location has a pool except this one. And I was just like, you're just telling me great stuff that's at other gyms. There's a great gym in San Diego that has 9 pools. You're not going there either, but you are going to the worst location of this gym. And then I do a thing about how he was taking in the cubicle to seal the deal, and he's like, got this pre-printed list of membership plans, like $900. He takes a pen and crosses it out and writes $700.
Oh my god!
Like I'm supposed to go, oh my god, are there cameras in this place? You just acted on a crazy impulse. like how stupid do you think? But it kind of ends with, I'm just out of shape. I'm also stupid. That's a little Brian Regan-y, but. So I mean, I guess that one, it's not much more to that one. But.
Yeah. No, that's the thing that's crazy about gyms is that in my adult life, I've realized that gyms are the used car salesmen.
Oh yeah, they're definitely.
Yeah.
Because even if you sit there and you're like, I don't know. It's like $1,200 and if you want some sessions, it's $900 extra. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll give you the sessions for free. Oh, okay, that didn't take much. I'm glad I hesitated 4 seconds. And then once you sign up, you go, what if I just kept going? What if I just walked?
Right.
I'd be like, but yeah.
It's like you need to go into gym negotiation with like nothing to lose.
Right.
Like it's almost like you need to go
this
into.
Gym is so close to my apartment.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's kind of like, can't you just tell me? Give me a price and we'll do it that way. It's a little dance we're doing. But
yeah,
you got some?
No, that man. Yeah, no. My thing is, I was in a hotel and I was watching an ad for heartburn medication, and all I could think was that pizza looks so good. I got to get some of that heartburn medication brand pizza. I don't know if that's what they're getting at, but I was sold.
So you're saying the heartburn commercial made you hungry for pizza?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
and it's based on a true experience. I was like, oh yeah, that looks good.
Funny. It's like heartburn's just part of the deal. Yeah, I might get heartburn, but
yeah,
I get pizza and heartburn.
Yeah, and then I'm always shocked when I see pizza ads for pizza, because I feel like we're sold on pizza. Like I think that all they need is just a half second of screen time that says "Remember pizza," and I'd be like, "Oh right, yeah, I forgot about pizza. I love it." And then I say there's no ads for good pizza. Good pizza's confident in their work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, we're people will show up. We did the work.
It's kind of like the restaurants where they have like a barker outside. We're like, come on in. You're like, you can't be a good restaurant.
Yes, that's right. They go, there's no ads for good things in general. There's no ads for Paris, but there are ads for New Hampshire. Like, come to New Hampshire. We got bad pizza.
See, if that were my joke, I'd be like, you never see an ad for my comedy. But that's my style. This is completely just a premise, but I feel like people can be pretty forgiving unless they think you're cutting a line.
That's so funny.
Then there's no mercy. Like, because I remember there's times I've been like, because sometimes you go like a coffee shop and you see people standing, you're like, I can't tell if they're waiting for their order or they have an order.
Yeah.
And if you make the move, it's like, all right, it's gonna be all right. Made a mistake.
Yeah.
Not out to. I don't know if there's a joke there, but
no, I think that's an example of like the punchline is so strong that it's like I don't know how you follow it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
cutting the line.
Yeah. It's such it's such an immediately identifiable truism.
Yeah, we'll put that. That's back burnering that one.
Back burner.
You got more?
I'll say this, which is that I'm intimidated. Like, you're throwing jokes at me and they're great. I'm intimidated by adding jokes because I feel like you're such a veteran, like brilliant joke writer that I'm like, oh, I don't want to try to pitch on this.
You can do that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Though?
I mean, I wouldn't let anyone do it, but I would let you do that.
I wrote this. My wife and I do a lot of sexting. The other night, she wrote, "The ants in the kitchen attacked the English muffins." And I wrote, "Man, I want to fuck you." And she wrote, "I'm going to freeze the pumpernickel." And I knew what she meant.
That's funny.
It's a fun one.
That's funny. Yeah.
She literally sent me a video, and maybe I'll include this. She literally sent me a video today of ants on the honey that I just bought for my tea. It was a video.
A video.
It was like there's an ants, and she wrote there's an ants party.
It's also funny. Like I'm glad. Like I would have thought you were lying about that. Like here's evidence. Oh my god.
So the last thing we do on the show is working out for a cause.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you have a nonprofit that you like to contribute to, we will contribute to them.
Doctors Without Borders, which is, I know it's not the most...
That's a great one.
Left field one, but they apparently do great work.
Doctors Without Borders.
So
that's great.
Yeah, let's
So we'll contribute to Doctors Without Borders. We'll link to them in the show notes, encourage people to contribute as well. And I can't recommend all your specials that are on YouTube.
Yeah, the new one is called Domestic Short Hair. It's on YouTube for free.
For free. And it's great.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. And thanks for doing it.
Thanks for having me. I've wanted to do this for a while. I waited so long to do this podcast. I've worked everything out. Is that funny? It's called working it out, right?
Yeah. It's called working it out.
You got me too late. I've already worked it all out. All right. You don't have to add that.